it.
Okay, cool. Oh, I can actually see where we're going live now. It didn't lag this time. That's cool.
Hey, man, there was nothing chaotic for that intro whatsoever. I'm sad.
Oh no.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 34 of My Cup of Tea. I am your host, Nathan, where apparently I'm the only one on this console who has not had the Super Soldier Serum. Joining us as always, we have Evan.
I wish I had the serum. That'd be pretty good. It'll make me a pretty badass person. No. Um, pretty good episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier this week. Probably the best one yet. I don't know. Um, but yeah, and there's a lot of cool news to dive into. Some release date changes. Some things we didn't get to last week. Also, big news. Attack on Titan has ended. The manga has ended. So I just been in a heartbreaking last couple of days recovering, but I'm glad to be here with you guys.
And also joining us is 99.9% of Carson.
Yeah, as you can see, the serum is kicking in well. My mutation has been revealed. I can mini Bill Gates inside of here. You can see start to see his face. No, we're fully vaccinated. That's 2/3 of the Hyperspace / My Cup of Tea crew. Nathan down in Florida. Pray for the guy. Hopefully he'll get it.
Wow, jeez.
Surrounded by super soldiers.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't need the serum to be a good person. As this show, unless you're someone on Twitter who doesn't understand the subtext, we'll get into some of those takes about.
Are we? Oh no.
About this week's episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, because there's been plenty of them, and I'm excited to talk about this episode because I think it's probably I felt the momentum of the show the most. I feel like we're of course past midway, but now we're getting into territory where stuff is really starting to go down and there's being consequences in the show. So it's getting a really exciting time, and we only have 3 episodes left? 2 episodes? Oh my god!
2.
And there's a lot of footage we saw from the trailer.
I know.
I'm like, come on, once again.
Throw in the shield. We still haven't seen it.
Even like Nathan's like, I didn't watch all the trailers for this one. I didn't see a lot of the trailers either. Like, but we all saw the freaking Super Bowl promo with Cap or with Sam and Bucky at his house training. Yeah. That's next week. I'm like, come on. I'm thinking that's next week.
Let's go.
What's up, Quinny?
No, every week we do this pod and we're like, he has to get the shield next episode, right? You guys say that every week, and I'm like, I knew it was going to be toward the end.
And Evan's like, that's going to be episode 3, 20 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't know.
And then he was like, next episode, and I was like, no, it's going to be 5 or 6.
I'm waiting for.
Hello there,
Star.
Hello there.
Today. Nice.
I'm waiting for things to happen. But before we dive into the episode, I just want to give you guys takes on the series so far, because it's been kind of interesting the way I talked to a lot of my friends about it and just casual co-workers or my mentor teacher at the high school I work for. He's liking WandaVision way more than Captain America, the show. Because
that was phase 2, sir. We're in 4.
He likes it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier is a long title to get to. But
they got those that saves time.
Exactly right. But I feel like WandaVision, we got so much out of it because each episode is so unique. This one just feels like, I don't want to say not a lot is happening, because a lot is happening, but just it feels more cinematic. And when I say that, it feels like we're actually watching a 6-hour movie, and that's for the better and for the worse in a sense. Because it's like when you're in the middle of a movie, nothing's you're kind of at the midpoint of the movie, and maybe nothing's major is happening. And I kind of feel that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, where it's stuff is happening, it's just not important, or it's just not invigorating yet until this week, I think, which is funny enough because we're past the 2/3 point now. But I feel like stuff is going to ramp up. It's just disappointing that the last couple of episodes have been pretty, I don't know, stable, or just haven't been that awesome.
For Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Oh, you're insane. I'm hooked every week.
I mean, I've had fun, but it just felt like when the episode ends and just that was cool.
I think
it's hard to explain.
Evan, you were, because I considered after this episode, I'm like, it's so, a lot of people have been bringing this up on Twitter too, of I think it's in this weird gray area where it being almost like that extended movie where the episodic format doesn't benefit it whatsoever, but it's almost not close enough to that just movie feel of like its
Yes.
runtime that it's in a weird gray area where in neither form benefits it to the fullest extent. And so it's like weird because I'm like, especially I've been noticing it specifically with um, like stuff with the flag smashers where it's just like really vague sometimes where it will just like we'll kind of go in circles and try to set up motivation but they really don't because we've already moved past like that initial stage but like yet we really haven't gotten it tries to hint at things and then
I can never properly like dive into those types of criticisms until I'm completely done with this season.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but for me, it feels like this is a show that would work better on a binge compared to a show like a normal television show. Where television, for each episode, you get like a certain focus of each episode, and then it gets revolved by the end of the episode.
The problem of the week type.
The problem of the week, or I don't know, like even in Daredevil, where even a show like Daredevil doesn't have like a villain of the week thing. That's kind of more so a Flash and Arrow. But a show like Daredevil doesn't have a villain of the week, but each episode I got something incredible out of it. Even in season 1, where something like not a lot is happening. But for this one, I don't know. It just feels like this is a 6-hour movie, and I'm just like getting pieces of a movie rather than a complete whole each week. But either way, I say that, and I love this episode.
Yeah, and then like the drama, like I think some of what hurts it is because it takes so long for stuff to pay off.
Yes.
In a sense, it's more of like, okay, so for example, like Sam and Bucky were like kind of fighting like earlier in the season because of the whole Isaiah thing, and then also the conflict with him not taking up the shield, and kind of that moral ambiguity of like those two things. That really hasn't been touched on that much at all. Like it just kind of like they're fine now and they just walk around from location to location and they're just like good.
Yeah, walking and chilling.
And so it's like and I think they're gonna circle back later on to it. And it's gonna be meaningful when he eventually does take up the shield. But the difference is that's gonna be between episodes 2 and episode 6. And it's like, when it's not really benefiting from the episodic thing because the plot is so stretched, then it just feels weird. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like you feel like you're kind of stuck in the windows of time rather than like continuing and building on the story, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's like that'd be a whole month gap between like
or like that specific payoff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, I think I had a good time with this week. It kind of had some good events happen.
And a lot of good character moments for sure. Like this. About some of the things.
Yeah, I like some of the stuff with Carly and Sam that we'll talk about.
And Bucky, we got to talk about. Hopefully, Nathan gets back on here because we got to talk about the opening because that's really the first thing.
Yeah, let me get out my notes here.
Yeah,
I was telling Nathan before we logged on in the pre-show, like I didn't, I forgot some of the stuff, so I took a lot of notes beforehand.
Yeah,
going through the episode.
Yeah, I watched it. I've been watching it during like the day on Friday. Like I haven't been staying up for it. Like
me neither. Who stays up?
Nathan does. Nathan gets that reaction.
Oh yeah.
I was like, who stays up for the episode?
We were just starting like kind of the recap. We're saying like that, despite what we just brought up, like there was a ton of great character moments in this episode, starting with chiefly the opening.
Yeah, let's get rocking.
Alrighty. So immediately we are back in Wakanda, and it's probably like there's like 2 scenes that are like really stuck. This is like the one that is just so emotionally impactful for Bucky's character. Just seeing him deal and process through the brainwashing trauma of the Winter Soldier, and it's like flashing through like all the different like points from Winter Soldier and Civil War where we saw him in that state. And he's trying to process, make sure he doesn't like totally lose it. And he's like struggling so hard to like stick with it. And then when like the words are finished and he's like realizes that he's still here, and then he just like breaks down like tears of joy. It's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time as well, because he's breaking through that, breaking through his, I don't know, torture and his pain of the past, and then kind of break through that, and he's finally getting cured. I love that, and to see like Oye or Ao, I forget, I keep forgetting her name. But the Dormelage that was helping him out in the past and in the present in this episode, she was there witnessing that. So they do have some kind of past together, which was pretty cool to see. And yeah, that scene overall was great acting from Bucky there.
Yeah, I love seeing this scene, and it was kind of like it really built on kind of the stuff that I really loved about episode 1 of, you know, now having to grapple with like that freedom and, you know, kind of that blank slate. Like it's terrifying equally because as freeing as it is, now it's like he's, you know, he's back, he's himself, and it's like, who is he? Like, who is he without it? And it's like I love that show has been, the show has been repeatedly digging at that of you know, those slower moments when we're not like right in the midst of the action. So I've really appreciated that this episode in particular started with that, because it was awesome to see.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was just really cool seeing Wakanda again. We haven't seen Wakanda in years.
I know, just hearing
felt
the
like
music.
it. Yeah.
Outskirts though, we have a budget.
Yeah, we got a budget.
Yeah.
Right on fire.
Random fire in Kansas or whatever.
Hey now,
Soundtrack.
What do you got on Kansas?
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Hey man, as long as we have the Wakanda soundtrack, it's all good.
Yeah, it's like just play some drums. They'll think they're in Wakanda.
That's the only location establishing theme that you need. We don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then we progress a little further back to where we left off. Then the last episode, how Dora Milaje are going to be coming for Zemo in a matter of about 8 hours. You know, whether, you know, done or not, means to an end, whatever. It's like he murdered our king. If he's not in their custody anymore, he's going to be in ours.
Yeah, I like the scene a lot because Dora Milaje, specifically the one that we saw in this flashback and in last week's episode or cliffhanger, she was saying how she has a personal vendetta against Zemo, not because Zemo killed a lot of people and stuff, but just mainly personal for her because King T'Chaka chose her specifically as a member of like the Royal Protection Guard. So she feels like she failed him, that she had a responsibility and she failed. So that's why she personally has to go and be the one to take down Zemo, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess because we kind of forgot about how much that really meant for Wakanda a little bit, because how fast everything progressed, really. I mean, it's been, 3 years since Black Panther already, which is just insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know, we get those really powerful scenes in the movie of kind of that passing the torch in the spiritual realm. Really great scenes, but then to see like the real world effects of that it's still like a lingering thing that affects people within the community. I really like that, and we'll get to their fight scene later. It's just so perfect.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
So definitely a welcome addition to the show. I wasn't expecting it. See, these are the kind of like cameo / like world building roles that I like to see in a Marvel show, because
Perfect.
It makes sense contextually, but it's not like the oh my god, like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not like the clickbait headline answer. It's like, here's why this matters, and here's like, you know, how this loops into the show. Like, it makes so much sense plot wise and character wise specifically, because now you have like this triangle of people all pulling on Zemo, and of course that pays off to the fact that it just disappears later in the episode.
Yeah, the cameo is not the focus of the episode.
Yes.
It's not like a matter of like seeing like, oh, Shuri's here and she's randomly talking Easter egg setups. No, it's like we have a Dora Milaje who is connected with like helping Bucky process the trauma that we established previously, while they also have stakes with their own like,
and we get to
stuff.
see it versus talk about it, which I really like.
Yes.
Absolutely. Good job.
Yeah.
We were talking around something. Anyways, what's the Zemo? Oh, what's the next scene here? Is it Zemo talking to about the Flag Smashers?
Yeah, and like super soldiers in general.
Yeah, I liked this scene a lot. So Zemo's talking to the Flag Smashers, and basically the conversations about them and the super soldiers becoming like supremacists. The whole concept of in the past, Zemo's considered Ultron, Nazis, and even the Avengers to be supremacist within our society. It's kind of a continuation on the topic that he was talking about last week in terms of having heroes at a higher standard and the evil that can do to society. And I liked this week where he's talking about how super soldiers and people who get like these a lot of power, like the Avengers or like Nazis, or the Nazis got a lot of political power, and even Ultron got a lot of power as well. How they're all supremacists in our society, and like Sam's like, wait a second, like we're not supremacists. We're not here. We're not really supremacists. What's up, Enochol? We're not supremacists at all. And even Zemo's talking about how Carly and the Flag Smashers are supremacists, given the news that they got about Carly's actions last week blowing up that GRC camp. I'm saying like this is how supremacists work, and Zemo's trying to say like she is dangerous. She is not just a little girl. She killed all those people, wounded a couple more. If you do not kill her, she will kill you, which is a good setup for this week and the weeks to come.
Yeah, it's a really good point because that all kind of comes to fruition as well with the ultimatum of John Walker and the super soldier serum, because we see it's not even the act of getting the serum. It's that potential what if I had it, and that's we had that scene where he's talking to what's the sidekick's name?
Battlestar, come on,
Battlestar. Yeah,
Lamar Hopkins.
We see them talking, and they're like, "Would you take?" Like, I really like that scene too because, you know, we see that like the temptation of how that can corrupt somebody. The fact of like linking all their decisions back to like, oh, what if this scenario was different if I had it? And we see that literally after the fight scene in the apartment, and I think he says like they weren't even super soldiers. Like he's just like beside himself that like he Captain America couldn't stop, you know, a group of like 3 or 4 people. And so that's such an interesting moral dilemma, and I think Zemo kind of plays it out. But I also think it's notable that we got to bring up, like, you know, Sam's side, and he's like, well, it didn't corrupt, or I think did Bucky say it didn't corrupt Steve. Yeah. Which, and then what does Zemo say?
Zemo like, says,
"There's only been one.
Touche, but there's never been another Steve Rogers."
Yeah,
lovely line.
Which is a lovely line. And it kind of connects to. I wrote down in my notes here. That's a great line. And Sam, this is a great campaign episode for why Sam is a great hero and why Sam is a great in the great position to be the next Captain America. Because this wasn't an episode saying like. It wasn't called like this is why Sam needs to be Captain America, but there's a lot of subtle hints throughout this episode of why Sam was a better candidate to be Captain America. The way he's trying to defend Carly in this episode, the way he's talking about trauma and helping people with trauma versus the way John Walker goes about it, the way he denounces the super soldier serum, the way he does a lot of things. He was even fighting off the Flag Smashers pretty well without having the serum. You don't need the dang serum. Just be a better fighter, John Walker. I don't give a crap about your 3 medals of honor. We'll talk about it.
Those wings, man. They're
and he even gets insecure about his medals of honor. He's like, imagine the people we could have saved in the village if I would have had.
Yeah.
Which okay, that's a good breakdown. In fairness for him there, but then like he fights the Dora Milaje and he's like, oh, they weren't even super soldiers. And I'm like, yeah, but they are the Dora Milaje, bro. You give yourself some slack there.
They fought alien creatures from outer space. Like, come on.
They fought everybody throughout history and time. I think they're. Like, come on.
They're built different, but we'll talk about that later because that was a very funny scene.
Yeah, but eventually we like go through a lot of different investigating to get to the funeral Carly's attending, so that Sam may talk with her.
I did like that GRC camp though scene where Zemo just because it's so funny because Sam and Bucky are so out of place.
Yeah.
They're just like, who's Donna Milani or whatever her name is. Who is she? Where is she? And everybody just walking away from them. Sam's like, well, did I say something wrong? I'm like, yes, Sam. You're walking into a GRC flag match.
Who just comes in and is like, who's your leader?
Like, what are you doing, Sam? This your first rodeo?
And that teacher literally just calls him out. He's like, I know who you are. Like, we don't trust you, dude. Like, what are you doing?
People don't like America. People don't like the GRC. What's going on here? I'm like, Sam, come on. Like the whole premise of the Flag Smash is that they're going against the GRC, which I have a question about the GRC that I'll talk about near the end of the episode, because it really reminds me of the dilemma I had with WandaVision, where Sword was painted as this villain, even though they're going to be around for the next Phase 4, and GRC presumably is going to be around for post-blip. And they're kind of painted as this bad or flawed, very, very flawed organization in this series. So I'm wondering where that's going to go to, but I'll ask it later. But yeah, I just did like the scene a lot because it's Zemo coming in like, okay, I'll just come in there, sing them a song, and candy, Turkish delights can get you very far in this society. I find that very funny. Kids are pretty.
My associate, John Walker, is just like,
like, what are you talking about? This little girl?
Amazing.
Hilarious. This man immediately comes in like, what is going on? I don't understand how covert operations happen. I'm here for action.
I'm like, how did you get 3 medals of honor? You freaking.
This man's walking around in costume, like no subtlety at all.
Right,
Zero.
Just walking around the streets, and also just like,
I'm
no
Captain
faith
America.
in anybody. He's just like sits in front of that clock like an idiot. He's like, oh, it's been 9 minutes. Gotta get in there. Meanwhile, there's like no noise or anything. Like, just chill. Like,
hilarious. But
bro, he's the Falcon. He's been through so much. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's after this scene where they help out the little girl, or the little girl helps them out?
Oh, they get to the funeral that Carly's speaking at, where Sam goes to talk to her, while they also handcuff Zemo. It's like a Man of Steel situation. Like, yeah, okay, sure, this isn't gonna be permanent, but all right.
Yeah, I like this whole funeral scene in general. It was a great scene from Carly and stuff like that. Even though Sam's like I couldn't tell if Sam meant to be seen up there in the balcony. But I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, overall, Sam and Carly's back and forth. The way he was saying earlier, how like he understands trauma a lot. He's able to understand what they're going through, and they just had a great back and forth about violence and saying like that's the only way people will respond. That's the only way people to get their attention. And to Carly's point, like there are people who are steadily growing on their side. There was that scene when they were sitting by the campfire, and other Flag Smashers were watching the news about what happened in last week's episode with Carly blowing everybody up, and they seemed to be iffy on it. But it kind of seemed to work. It's kind of like a 50-50 thing where more people are siding with the GRC, but also more people are siding with the Flag Smashers as well, as heat is rising on them as a faction. So they're getting more followers, they're getting more people. There's a ton of people at that funeral, and there's going to be more growing. At the same time, there's more people siding with the GRC. So you can kind of see Cap's side as well. Where it's like, well, these people are killing people, so they need to be taken down. But it's all about methods, right? It's about the methods for John Walker, where he's going down this very dark method, as we see by the end of this episode. And same thing for Carly. She's going down a very dark path as well, killing other people, killing more people in this episode as she killed Battlestar. So it's like both of these people are walking down bad methods, but I can see where their mind spaces are.
No redemption. She's a war criminal.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's a goner in this series.
I don't know.
She's a goner. You think she's going to live?
I think she might, because...
Wow. She killed Lamar Hopkins.
I don't know, man. I'm just over here making a petty Ben Solo joke. I'm not...
Yeah, I know. That still hurts.
But what was I gonna say? Like, it's interesting because I still think the Flag Smasher thing is a little ambiguous. Like, we get little hints of like they're basically displaced because all of a sudden people stopped caring about them after the blip happened.
Yeah,
and then also they kind of talk about like Carly's whole deal is like, this will be kind of like the Lor Santeca line. This will begin to make things right, like with the serum, and it's like, well, what's your end game here? Like accumulate people to your extremism of being stronger than the opposition by strength, and that being like a metaphor for like we must rise up. Like it's just a little.
Let's talk about this, right? Because I think a lot of it, in terms of our cognitive dissonance to this, what's going on with Carly, is basically brought down to like seeing how would this react in real life. Because I think a lot of the issues that Carly is having in our society, like present day, outside of the MCU, I can see this happening with or without the blip, where societies are put back in refugee camps. People don't care about refugees. That's happening without the blip anyways.
Yeah, it's happening all over the world.
It's happening all over the world. So I don't know what Carly's whole... I think I wrote down in here, Carly's whole philosophy is about after the snap, like the Infinity War snap. Mm-hmm. People work together no matter the borders. Apparently people were saying, like, I think Sam was saying, like, no matter what border, people were coming across to help people out. Like without the borders, with everybody gone, it didn't matter where you were. People were helping each other out. That seemed a bit idealistic.
Right, and especially what Endgame gives us, and we don't get to see that other than like a little support group and like people going to the funeral, like little the Vanished and like little stuff like that. We don't see like broad scale stuff other from the point of like Black Widow checking in and like, okay, we're still doing stuff for good, even though things are kind of on pause. It still seemed like everybody was displaced.
Exactly. It's so weird because we're getting so many perspectives. Carly's perspective is saying like people work together. Like we were in a bad situation and it got better because we got a lot of new people helping out from all over the world. But also we see in Endgame, like it went bad for a lot of other people. Crime was rampant. We saw what happened with Hawkeye specifically. What's happened with Ronan and everything. Like things were bad. But Carly has like this benevolent look on the Infinity War snap compared to what happened in Endgame. So now afterwards, she's saying like borders were put back in place. People were more xenophobic again after everybody returned. We're putting borders back in place and we're getting kicked out of homes and stuff, which is weird because again, like another perspective in Spider-Man, I keep forgetting the second one, Far From Home. Didn't the mom talk about, or Aunt May, she said like when I blipped, I came back into our old house and there was another family there, but then like they didn't kick that family out, right?
I don't recall that being a thing.
You don't? I remember that line from somewhere.
Huh.
No, it was weird. I don't remember a lot from Far From Home. I remember some random shit.
False memories.
Maybe that's false memories. I don't think they're living at that same home in Far From Home. Anyways, do we actually even see Peter back at home in Far From Home? I don't think so.
We very much do. It's the same bedroom.
Is it?
Yes, it's the same. He's like packing to go to Europe. She's like, "Don't forget your suit."
And we get
you're right.
The one Uncle Ben.
But yeah, there's this instance.
Thank you, High Top Carson.
I'm just saying, damn it.
I agree.
But there's instances I'm like for the Flag Smashers, I kind of was on their side, but now I'm like iffy. Like they just really, the show really wants us to believe like things were so good for them during the blip, and it's just hard to connect with that idea, especially with Carly killing more and more people.
It's like part of me is like, why would you just not go? Why would you go public? Like, why would you not go public and just like like state your business and like instead of like lurking around with your mask on and beating up, like, not to say that obviously that's garnering their attention, but it's like, and that goes the whole point of like this is the only language these people understand, but also like the people that were sympathetic with them are still there, and there's more people that will be sympathetic with. I don't know. It's a whole ideological issue, but.
And it goes back to your original thing saying, like, what does this have to do with the super soldier serum? What is her idea of, it happens later in the episode, but
of
like,
inspiring or bringing together.
Of giving people more serums, because I don't understand where that part of the plan. Of course,
it's supposed to be flawed. Like, right, she's like, it's supposed to be a little flawed.
Yeah, which I'm glad in this episode that her plan is quickly thwarted by Zemo. I mean, it's sad for her, but it's like, thank you, because I had this whole thing in my mind, like, if you give more people serums, how does that help your cause? You just become stronger.
Right.
Okay.
And I think everyone also would become more individualistic in that sense because
It'll lead to more chaos.
Yeah.
From our perspective, at least. But yeah, overall, that was a good scene. But of course, outside of that, we have Walker being all.
I got. He
I gotta
sells
get in
it.
there.
What's the actor's name? Wyatt
Russell.
Wyatt Russell. He sells it so well. Like,
oh, he's great.
he is like. He's like he's on Adderall the entire time. Like he just shows up and he's like, "We got to do this now, my way or the highway." Like,
it's funny because I think I wrote that in my notes. At this point in the episode, I thought he was so fixated on Carly. This entire time, actually, he's been so fixated on Carly because he wants the super soldier serum. I thought, like, okay, he's doing all this. He's so intent on the mission. Even when Sam and Battlestar were talking earlier, saying, like, let me go in and talk first. And Battlestar's like, you know what, Walker, maybe we should, like, have Sam do his thing first. Then we'll come in if he needs help. And then Walker reluctantly agrees. But I thought at that point, like, he really wants to find Carly in the Flag Smashers because he wants those other 12 vials, or at least one of those 12 vials that the Flag Smashers have. But it turns out in this episode, it seems like it was more of a convenience thing for him that he finds his serum. Then he's like, oh, one survived. I'll just take this one now because of recent event. It didn't seem like he was planning on taking that serum from her. I don't know. That was just my idea.
Yeah, and I also think
Nathan, you're muted.
My bad. I don't really think he had the idea of the serum in mind until he really saw it. I think he was
that's what it seemed like in this episode,
Yeah, more of just like on the path of like, I just have to prove myself as Captain America, but I'm just like, he feels like personally he keeps falling short, like no one's taking him seriously. And then, because I'm pretty sure he's just going like, yeah, okay, let me take on this Flag Smasher leader, and then you get to a point where it's like, oh my god, wait, the vials on the floor right there, that's
pretty
interesting.
Tempting. Yeah.
And then immediately pockets it, tells no one.
And when he takes it, this is before Sam gets asked a question like, would you take the super soldier serum, right? That scene happens later.
Yeah, I think that's the immediate scene before the Dora Milaje come in.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah, it seemed like it was just convenient for him, which was pretty funny. And I love how Zemo just came in as soon as he got like handcuffed to that thing. I'm like, he's gonna escape and go after Carly 100%. I like that whole scene. He was just like coming in there, badass Zemo. I really shouldn't be rooting for the guy, but it was pretty satisfying seeing those.
His character is so interesting, right? Like, I was trying to break down Zemo in my head earlier. I'm like, what's like, because like he did all this stuff, and now he's kind of like this extremist, like just out there now, and kind of like there to kind of like, oh hey, I've been through some stuff, and I know some people, and I kind of I reflected on the things that you're currently trying to stop and or become, and I have some thoughts on it. But I'm like, what's Zemo's like to you guys? Like, what's Zemo's end game with this? Is just to leave, and obviously he does leave, but like
probably pull another turn people on themselves so he can just like go about his path.
Yeah, it seems like he really needs to take down the Flag Smashers. That's like his main goal. I think he's not going to rest until the Flag Smashers, specifically Carly, is dead. Maybe he might go after Cap now, or he might try to manipulate Captain America or John Walker.
That could probably aid in a like further team up with Zemo in that case. Just like maybe not like necessarily. I know Sam and Bucky won't want to kill John, but I'm sure Zemo would.
Exactly.
But they'll just be like a mutual party of like, we gotta like stop Walker because he's just like going like overboard. I'm not. I'll get to that point later because it involves the ending. Yeah. So. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
I just thought it was interesting to think about because there's a lot that happens with his character because he's kind of the one prodding and doing all this stuff of like, whoa, what do you think about this, Sam and Bucky? Like, and he's pouring his tea, just like, like, let me pose this issue to you, and it's funny.
Yeah. But after this scene, like Nathan said, Zemo's chilling, resting his head after getting hit in the head with Cap's shield.
Yeah. I saw he took it to like the neck. I was like, how does anyone live?
Yeah, if he takes in the neck, he's dead. He's dead.
How does anyone survive a shield impact? Like, if your bones aren't broken, that
yeah, it just knocked him out. I'm like, your head should be jelly right now.
It's just like a big blob.
But yeah, he's resting his head. He's like, you know what, Sam? If you were you ever asked to get the serum? And Sam's like, no. He's like, would you ever have taken it instantly?
No.
Like, nope. And I think Sam's a way better person than I, because I would have taken that shit in a second. But but I liked it from Sam again. Like I was saying earlier, this is a great campaign episode for Sam. He instantly says no, would not take it, which is juxtaposed with the later scene where Battlestar asked John, like, would you take it? And they're both like, hell yeah, I'll take that shit.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like, these are good people. I don't think John Walker is necessarily evil guy, but he just has like his like. I don't think to the core he's bad, but just like with everything going on in his life, I think he's just going down a dark path. But even Lamar Hopkins, not an evil dude at all either. But he instantly said, like, I'll take this serum in a second. But there's a lot of people saying just like Sam's just built different. Sam's just a nice, good soul. And
Sam's reminding me of Frodo earlier on. It's just like he has the ring. He's like, "Well, take it, Gandalf. It's so bad."
Yeah,
right. And it's like, I love how this show is kind of trying to disassemble like kind of this macho patriotism. Both those characters of like, you know, this is what it means to protect America and the values of like what people, want to see, and just like. Just to think back on how Steve acts all the time of like, just being selfless and like, the shield you don't think with the shield. Like, I mean, it's there, but it's also a symbol for everything beyond it as a weapon. And I think that's super important in this episode. And with Sam eventually taking it up, knowing the kind of the meaning that even John is tarnished with it now, and probably will continue to tarnish with it. To how to turn that around and kind of wield it as a symbol for good and not for something that's just for force or
it's not
being the symbol of the country. You know what I mean? Like
that's the thing, right? I think Battlestar and John Walker are all like, we need a shield. Especially when they were talking about it, having that conversation, it was in the context of the military and saying like, I could have saved a lot of people in the military in terms of protecting America.
It's a means to an end in that sense.
A means to an end for like what you were saying, Carson, with American patriotism and helping out with the American military. But the beauty of Captain America and what they did with the Captain America trilogy, that we really saw a lot of great stuff from Captain America and who he was as a person. Not in the first one, which we did get a lot of basic groundwork for who Cap was, or who Steve was as a person in the first one. But what he really became Captain America, for me at least, was when he started questioning the government, which we saw in Winter Soldier. We saw it in Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. He started questioning the government because the shield and the essence of Captain America, even though he's Captain America, he was still able to question the decisions of the government because the shield means more than just America.
The separation of it, of saying, the most American thing to do is to continue to question the institutions that prop me up for different reasons other than myself being the best version of myself. You know what I mean? It's like
1,000%.
So that's, and then I just love seeing John, like there's this little conversation with John Walker where it's like, he doesn't have anybody to check him right now. Sam and Bucky, obviously, but like all of these, things he's getting to in his head, he's like, okay, this is really what's best for everything right now. Yeah. He really does think that. And it's just kind of like this unstoppable path right now.
He thinks it's best for America. He was chosen, not like Captain America, not like Steve Rogers. He was chosen by the government. He was chosen by America. Steve did this because they picked Steve, yes, but that's because the science.
And he's thinking about it. He says, I have to do the job without thinking about what the job actually is.
Yeah, the job is caring for everybody. It's just not. It's not being the big mascot for America. It's about caring and being a good person for everybody, which Sam is incredible at because he was a trauma counselor.
Yeah. So Someone made a great point on just like a difference, just of like how they go about each other. And Steve always, when someone asks like who Steve is, like I'm Steve Rogers, And when John Walker is asked who he is, he's like, I'm Captain America. Like that's the leading thing. Like there is no separation of identity to be like, this thing is bigger than me. John Walker quite literally thinks he's this, walking embodiment of everything. When really Steve understood that it was much bigger than himself. And I love that little difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we get this incredible Dora Milaje scene, right?
Yeah. They come right in, and it's just like
the piercing spear sound is so good.
It's so
just
good.
Flies in there.
I mean, at first it's just like, oh, it's cool, like just seeing it just like right in the wall as an entrance.
Right.
And then John's like discussing, not even. He's just like, "Hi, Captain America."
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm like,
They got off on the wrong foot here, and just like hit her shoulder. I'm like,
Like,
you
what are you
are
doing?
dead. Like, and then immediately they not just like knock him down. They knock him like into the spear, and I'm like, oh, good setup.
I know, perfection. It reminded me of the. You guys remember like the club scene in Black Panther when they go in there covertly and then they break out and they're like throwing each other over the railing onto like the casino boards, and it's just like this crazy little action thing that like just starts from nothing, and it's just chaos right away.
Yeah.
But of course we get this comedic element to it where both Zemo.
He was just drinking.
He's drinking his cherry blossom tea or whatever, and Sam and Bucky are just looking at each other like, Bucky, do something.
We should help, right? And Bucky's just like, looking good, John.
Love that little taunting. It's too perfect.
It's so good. And then Bucky then does step in, and it's just like, oh no. So they start saying, and I didn't realize, I was not expecting them to just like pressure point his arm off.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. It reminded me of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
There's a character, Ty Lee, who just does like all the pressure points and stuff, and it's like, oh wow,
yeah.
Like, really dismantled that guy really quickly.
Yeah. It's so good, and there's just like so many like good points, like to a point like they like throw a spear again like into the table to stop the shield so that he can raise it up.
Yeah, he's stuck in the strap of the
cool.
Amazing.
Couldn't move for like 5 minutes.
And then this whole time Zemo's just like, all right.
Wait, did that spear actually go through the part of the shield? I can't even like.
No, it went through the holster.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait.
But then, they like take the spear back, and John's just on the floor, and it's pathetic. And then Dora Milaje does like the kick up catch, like Cap does. I'm like, oh my god,
it was amazing. Anything that John Walker has done was just ousted in that moment. Like she just owned that shield like it was nobody's business.
You can be Captain America.
I thought she was gonna take the shield for a second there. I was like, is she gonna walk out with the shield?
I was in support of it. I was like, it's vibranium, just have it.
Yeah, right.
Please.
Beskar rules, just have it.
Someone said I would love to see a what if if they took the shield or something like it, just something fun where like it'd be displaced from like the American government or whoever.
And they gift it back to Sam or Bucky. I don't know.
But Zemo makes his exit, which is pretty hilarious.
I forgot it was his house. So
yeah.
He's got like that little tunnel system.
Goes in there with Chapo.
Yeah, he's out. Bucky's just like, all right, that makes sense. He just puts like, his arm back on.
He looks at it, he like questions, like, I don't know. It just like magnets back on.
It's a super Wakandan magnet. Really,
yeah.
He does the arm thing, and I'm like, it's the best every time.
So cool.
Yeah, but it was a good fight. The best line is they weren't even super soldiers.
They weren't even super soldiers.
But he sells
the John Step voice.
Well.
Just
he sells.
It could have been so like whiny, but like you genuinely like believe this guy is just like butthurt over every situation.
He's so
Yeah.
Like sad for himself.
He's so easily angered. Like it's insane.
Yeah. But again, it's the Dora Milaje, man. Like, relax.
Yeah, they might as well be super soldiers.
And I forgot we're getting that Wakanda show, man. From
or World of Wakanda, I think. Yeah.
So we're getting tons of them, and
yeah.
I cannot wait to like get some like character building outside, other plots within their own society. It's gonna be awesome to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then they take off because like Zemo's not here, so
yeah, peace out.
5 idiots like. Wakanda's just like so higher up in that
I know,
and for good reason.
They're just like on like the hierarchy of needs scale or whatever in psychology, they just walk into a room and they're like, they just got like 3 steps ahead. Like, just don't even try. Like, just listen to what they have to say and then just go.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see where this goes. Are we going to see these characters again in the next 2 episodes? Are they going to get killed by Zemo? Like, is Zemo like? Is this show going to end with them capturing Zemo? Are they going to ever find Zemo after this scene? What's their next route? Like, it seems like they're very intent on finding him eventually. So wherever Zemo went, because I assume we will see Zemo again next episode or something. So whatever,
I can see because I'm pretty sure. Okay, of the limited trailer stuff I've seen, I'm pretty sure like there's one more thing where there's like going to be a confrontation between Zemo and Bucky, like alone.
Oh yeah, at the
like that shot where he's like dropping the bullets.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll be interested to see like what's going to happen there. So I really can't call it. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I wonder like, I think Zemo probably makes it out, but
I think so too.
Either captured or
save him for another day.
Right, because really the show is made in such a. It's like obviously he's still a villain, but it's like there's a lot you can do with him in the sense that his perspective has just added a lot to the plot. Like when he's on screen, there's like it really moves like stuff that's happening with the characters, and I think he could really inflict a lot of different things moving forward.
I agree. There were some seeds in this episode where Carly and the Flashmasters, they get a call from the power broker, or another text at least saying like, I need, I'm still coming after you guys, bring my stuff back. And now compared to last week, they're like, okay, the power broker doesn't mean much to us because we have leverage. We have 12 serums. He doesn't mean much to us. And they refer to him as a male, by the way. I think they refer to him as a male, and so does Sharon Carter when they call about Dora Milani or whatever. So both times in this episode, Power Broker is referred to as a male. And then
it's General Ross.
I still think it's General Ross. I'm about to say I still think it's General Ross, which is interesting enough. He still has some vials, like some Hulk abomination vials.
So refresh.
But that didn't work at all.
It didn't, but like I don't know, like. He could have some stuff from Nagel from last week.
I could see it becoming down to a thing if Ross can get like some degree of like this working serum, because he does want like the powerful like Hulkness and like mix that, then it could like culminate in the Red Hulk aspect.
I think so. I think we'll definitely see Red Hulk and She-Hulk, maybe.
Yeah.
So all we know about the Power Broker so far is basically that he's just the head up of this organization that was interested in funding and reinvigorating the super serum, correct? And then the Flag Smashers kind of intervened and
it seemed like he had a lot of political and just power in Madripoor prior to asking Nagel for the super soldier serum.
Yes.
He just has a lot. He's just a guy who has a lot of influence somehow, whether that's money or just by fear.
And now it's just kind of going on the global stage of like actually acting on it.
Exactly. Now he's acting on it because of the super soldier serum and stuff. So now he really wants it back to exert more control, except now those super soldier serums are gone and the Flag Smashers have 0 leverage. So they should be very scared in the next 2 episodes about what
Nagel is dead.
And Nagel is dead. So he's even more pissed, or Power Broker is even more pissed. So Flag Smashers really got to be on their back from both Captain America now and from the Power Broker, which I still think is General Ross. And going back to what happened to Zemo by the end of this series, I still think Zemo could be asked by Thunderbolt Ross to be part of the Thunderbolts. I was like kind of like an anti-villain organization. I still think that's possible. I still think Feige is setting that up because there could be. You could ask the villain from WandaVision. I forget her name already, but she could be in it too. Agatha Harkness. Zemo. I mean, it just seems kind of cool because Zemo could be like the Batman of the group, right? He's rich. He has a lot of like his own plane and shit. He has a lot of homes across. Like he could be like for the Thunderbolts.
I like this.
He's their Tony.
He's their Tony. So he could have a lot of different stuff.
So it's kind of like Suicide Squad a little bit, right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I feel like if that like works, like Marvel's gonna like build up this whole like anti-villain team. And then Sony's going to be over here, like, on their 87th draft of Sinister Six. And they're going to be like, fine, Feige, fine. Like, help us, God.
So I think Thunderbolt Ross could have a very influential figure in Phase 4. I mean, because right now Feige's building up Young Avengers, and he's possibly building up these Thunderbolt characters in terms of anti-villains. Maybe they both clash in the same show. You never know. And we see Thunderbolt Ross and Black Widow, so we could have some post-credit scene with Yelena Belova asking her to be part of the group as well. You never know.
Which was supposed to be like that was supposed to be the kickoff Phase 4, wasn't it?
That was. So we're supposed to get Black Widow and Falcon Winter Soldier both to be the first two things for Phase 4. So they could be more connected than we realized. But anyways, for this show though, Carly calls Sam, or not Sam. Carly calls Sam's sister.
Yeah.
Down in New Orleans, and they basically just have a whole dishing session on John Walker saying how he's a piece of shit. And they don't like that guy.
Yeah. And I do like that we get that little bit of that sting that we don't want we really don't want Carly to keep going down, because at the end, like, we get this back and forth, and all of a sudden she's like, otherwise, I know your kids' names, the doc, like, and I'm like,
whoa.
I don't know anymore, Carly. Like,
how did she get all that information, by the way?
I don't know. I think they could probably have.
Does she have satellite information? Like, how did that happen?
Satellites or something.
Is she talking to Sharon Carter, who has the satellites?
Is Sharon the power broker?
Is Sharon the power broker?
No.
If Sharon was the power broker, that would be the single worst motivation I've ever seen in a Marvel show. It's like, I couldn't go back. What did you expect me to do? I couldn't go.
I couldn't go back, so I wanted to be the super soul. Sure. What?
Yeah.
If the power broker is somebody we have seen from the show, then my number one guess is Sharon. If it is somebody we haven't, then it's still Thunderbolt Ross. But if they want us to guess somebody from the show, or new character.
Okay, so not to pull the wacky WandaVision theory, but no, I'm not. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying what. No, I'm just saying what has been divulged is that next episode we are going to be introduced to a brand new Marvel Comics character.
Is it a Marvel Comics character or MCU character?
I mean, both.
No, I mean, like, is it a character that we haven't seen in the MCU?
No, we haven't seen him yet.
Okay,
brand new.
Got it.
I can't remember if it's supposed to be like a significant actor that we might know, but
yeah, I saw that quote too. Yeah.
It's gonna be like a known Marvel Comics character. So,
which I think the director said, like, and we'll feel some kind of emotion towards this new character or some kind of, I don't know.
Charles Xavier. I'm still like having.
maybe I'm butchering the quote from the director, but I felt like he said, like, this new character will have a scene with Bucky and it'll be very emotional for audiences. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm butchering the quote. Somebody can look it up. So I have no idea what's going to be coming. I felt like the director said, like, oh yeah, this new character is going to bring something of interest to the show. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that, Nathan, because some good theories for next week. I have no idea what could happen. We shall see. But yeah, but after this, Sam gets upset because Sam's sister gets called out by Carly, and then Carly's group at the same time wants to split up Sam and Bucky from John Walker, which is pretty easy to do because they're not working together. But yeah, they really want to kill this John Walker character. So that is their plan leading into the finale of this week's episode.
Okay. So wait, it actually apparently is supposed to be a popular actor.
Actor, okay.
Existing Marvel Comics character that is yet to appear in the MCU.
Okay.
Got it.
So
teasing that the Wait, no, here's a quote. Okay, despite the massive ensemble of characters, it seems that the show has a major surprise for episode 5 in the form of a popular cameo. In recent weeks, Falcon Winter Soldier creator Malcolm Spellman has been hyping up the aforementioned episode, teasing that viewers are going to cry when it airs.
That's what I said, yeah.
In addition, Spellman also noted that the penultimate installment of the series will showcase a very grounded character that he wants to see side by side with Thor.
Thor.
It remains to be seen who this character will be, but a new report may have shed light. Okay, so yeah.
completely throws us off, right? I remember that quote now. So I'm like,
Someone
it's such
said
a
us
grounded character, so I'm assuming a character that doesn't have superpowers.
it's Owen Wilson from the Loki show.
It's
just
Darcy.
It's Darcy.
they've
They
seen
bring back
Darcy and Thor.
It's Rocky Raccoon. I have no idea.
We've
Yeah,
seen that too. We're just like naming random stuff, but I'm like, but in the canon.
Yeah, I have no idea what other character we haven't seen before yet.
Gore the God Butcher.
Who works with Thor.
Christian Bale himself makes his debut.
Can you imagine like the whiplash we would get if we saw Gore the God Butcher in the show like, out of nowhere?
He would destroy everybody.
Superhero landing, like concrete shattering, like shot.
So bad.
Hilarious. I don't know. So, what was I gonna say before? It's a complete sidebar, but did you guys read that article or quote? It might have also been from the director or an editor a few weeks ago about that there was initially a lot more plot with the Flag Smashers, specifically like with there was supposed to be like a pandemic in this show. With they mentioned in like episode 2 or 1 where they're on that trucks and there's like vaccines or whatever, and that was going to be a lot more central to their motivation of like fighting back and something about like a world response, tying obviously the GRC of like distributing vaccines, and apparently a lot of that was reduced to avoid like overlap and kind of trying.
Oh my gosh!
With the COVID-19.
Good call.
I don't know if you guys saw that quote, but I was like, this is very interesting.
We can't make shows about pandemics anymore.
Not right now.
I guess.
Maybe not right now.
Part of me watches this show and like the Flag Smasher stuff does like jump around a lot, and it's like a lot of it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm picking back up from something that I like missed, but then I get caught back up within that scene, if that makes any sense. Something like Carly will say something like, okay, like I'm here, like
now I understand. Yeah,
I think I'll stick with the functionality of it being an allegory with the serums.
Yeah, I think it works, but I was like, it's very interesting, and it would make a lot of sense from like the refugee standpoint of like them obviously being very affected from that.
I feel like we don't really need to do pandemic story in the MCU because we already have like a pretty significant global impact from the blip itself. So
yeah, definitely. I just thought it was interesting that if that was the original intent, like if that was what they were going with. And then
but by all means, if they want to like mirror real life stuff through that and like tell like real stories like that, that'd be interesting. But...
And I think obviously before the pandemic, when they were writing it, it probably had a sense of, some realism, but a little bit like exaggerated. But now that we've had that exaggeration,
we don't need it
in real time. It's kind of probably something I look back on and like, well, I don't know, this works.
Absolutely. But we start getting that final confrontation between Carly and Sam, who brings Bucky in costume.
Yeah,
I can have some fun. They start discussing. Carly says she wasn't really gonna actually like go after Sam's family. Do we believe? I don't know.
I kind of do. She wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I feel like because I feel like she was being genuine when talking to Sam. She was like
I agree.
No, like I know she's like obviously going about the wrong methods, but like she believes she's like not that kind of person. So cool. But then Sharon is currently tracking Walker, so that's interesting. And that he's like coming up.
Yeah. She's like Walker's and Walker and New Cap's in a new building. And he seemed to be surrounded by, or they're surrounding, the Flag Smashers are surrounding him. So they're like, oh crap, now we got to go rescue new Captain America here. And it seems like the whole Carly thing was just a distraction for her other people to go and kill Cap. But it seems like Cap in this in that sequence between like the end part here and whatever happened with the Dora Milaje has taken the serum.
It lets the viewer like figure it out for themselves. Because like at first he's just like he's like really like tuning in and like listening. I'm like at the part I was like, did he take it? And then like and then he throws the shield layer and that like shattered the wall and I was like, yeah, I think he took it.
I think we all got on at the same time. Yeah.
And then like he's going down and like he kicks the dude like so far down the stairs. I'm like, Yeah, and then he bends the bar, and it's like it's over.
Yeah, the dude's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Literally.
and even Sam's like, "What did you do?" And it's just like they got Lamar, so no time.
Yeah. First of all, like, if I'm Lamar, why are my point guard? Like, why am I ahead of Captain America here? Like, I should always be behind this guy in terms of any kind of covert mission. Lamar's just like upstairs, like, what's going on? I'm like, you're just a random guy with a gun. Stay behind Cap at all times.
You have the shield.
You have the shield.
Not
Why
just
are you?
any shield.
Why are you running point? Like, stop.
Yeah.
That was weird. But yeah, he gets taken kidnapped. And
Uh,
it was at this point where I'm like, is he a goner? I thought he was going to die in the prison thing. I thought somebody was going to come in and just like beat him there, kind of like a Joker and Robin scenario. But
I didn't think he was gonna die at all, especially when I was like seeing him escape. I was like, all right, because I didn't think they were just gonna like immediately like right back. But sure enough, we start fighting. Everybody's like getting in on that action, the battle. Walker's like, why does everyone have knives? Like,
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it got chaotic very quickly, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
But, like,
everyone's just fighting each other.
but the overall goal we know is that Carly wants to assassinate Walker because he's the symbol.
And they almost had him. That he was like,
Yeah, and then
yeah.
Lamar comes in and just like knocks her over, and then she's just kind of like tossed him aside, and not meaning to kill him.
she just tossed him aside. She kicks him in the chest.
Yeah, well, no, I mean like at first, and then he's just like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he nails his head into the post.
yeah, right.
I felt more so, was it his head or his back? I feel like it was more so his back. That guy.
I think his head.
Well,
I think it was like
a smack.
and probably
Okay.
got like internal bleeding like right away from it, like
Yeah.
or something.
Gotcha.
Something that snapped for sure.
Kind of like a Gwen Stacy thing. Is that too soon?
I wasn't gonna say it, but
Too soon? Too soon? Sorry, Andrew. Sorry.
It's
only been
2014,
7
still too-
years.
It's still too, it will never be not soon.
I remember being
Was that
super
2014?
shocked. 2014, yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
think it was
yeah, I remember
May
seeing it in theaters.
2014.
It was.
I still like the movie. Anyways, I remember being so upset in theater. My mom was like, "Evan, it's just a movie." I was pissed. I was like,
no,
It's Emma
"Shut up,
Stone!
Emma Stone! You don't kill Gwen Stacy in your second movie. What are you doing?"
And
I
it's
was
Emma
shocked. More so because it's Emma Stone. Second of all, I was like,
oh my god,
"This is Gwen Stacy. You're killing her in your second movie? Really, Sony?" I was shocked. But anyways, I haven't recovered. Spoiler alert.
They were gonna bring her back through cloning.
oh,
Oh god.
she's a Skywalker.
I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 twice in theaters, by the way. I had a good time.
Hey, I cannot believe they're actually gonna go like Clone Saga routes when there was such a backlash from it. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyways.
So yeah.
Or Lamar Hopkins. I mean,
Yeah,
that was-
we're all laughing.
I love the way the
You're
edit
laughing.
just-
Lamar Hopkins is dead, and you're laughing.
Yes, the name Lamar Hopkins is too funny. It just it's like the perfect black name. Anyways, I the way they directed and edited this scene was really good. Like they cut out the sound, like you just hear the heartbeats by mainly. They go from the perspective of John Walker here, where the camera zooms in on his face. You can really see the emotion going across his face. And it was really sad because like this was his best buddy. And
Also, Carly too. She was like, she didn't mean to.
she didn't mean to, but again, like when you have the super soldier serum, you have to be aware of your abilities. You have to be aware of your capabilities in these fighting scenarios.
So I can't take it. I don't think I can like understand.
Exactly
that.
right. Because I just pushed somebody like, oh shoot, I just broke somebody's neck.
One time I was like pulling a hose out from like the side of my house, and like I yanked too much, and I like bursted a pipe.
Oh yeah.
In normal human strength. If I was a super soldier, like I tore my house apart.
So yeah, I like the whole scene. Even at that point, I'm like, if I'm John Walker, I'm like, I'd be pissed. And I can see it now why he.
He was diving down. He was like, check. Walker had like some blood on his like head too. You got like
yeah.
I mean, it's super soldier against super soldier. So, but
we don't see Cap having that much blood on his face. We do a little bit in Civil War, but not so much.
It's very like you got to get there through like a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably Endgame, I would say. Otherwise,
Endgame too. Yeah, Civil War and Endgame. You see a lot of blood.
I mean, he broke his whole arm, and then it's still. I think one of my favorite things ever is that he like settles his arm with the shield by tightening.
Love it.
Perfect.
Love it. Great scene.
But then everybody's like headed out. Everybody's running away. They're trying to pursue it, and Walker's just like
Into the crowd I go.
out the window. He pulls like a Cap like move, but it's like for all
comes
the wrong
down
reasons.
on the car. Pretty
Crushes
epic.
the car, and they toss like this huge piece of concrete at him. He just like shatters it, and he's like screaming like where Carly is, but he's running down this dude who didn't kill Lamar.
Great point though. This is the same dude
yeah.
who earlier in the episode was talking with Carly at where she got the serums like from the guy's grave. I guess that guy's like great grandfather who fought in World War II. And did he say he fought with Captain America? I forget the exact line, but either way, the guy was saying how he was a huge Captain America fan, and his grandfather also was a huge Captain America fan. He idolized Captain America. Of course, Carly makes fun of him for it a little bit, but this was a guy who, ironically, idolized Steve Rogers. He idolized Captain America, and this is the same guy that gets killed by Captain America. I'm like, this show is wild.
By the very shield he had.
By the very shield he admired,
And
wow,
what a sequence! Like he's like running him down. He like I don't know how people aren't instantly broken from a shield impact. But like
right?
he gets hit in the back and then like straight in the chest again. I'm like, ow! How your ribs are gone?
Double
but,
ow.
Yeah, but like he falls down and Walker's like, oh, and he's just like trying to like plead, just like it wasn't me, like. But Walker's blinded by rage. And like, you really focus on him lifting up, and he just looks like a fucking psycho. And it just like comes. Again, my reaction's up. I was so stunned. I did not think that it would just like go there, and it wasn't like super focused on like physically seeing it, which is fine. But it was like
because it started to cut.
Like the heftiness of that shield and like what it.
Yeah, and then everyone starts recording, and you're like, oh my god, this is bad, and. Like
everybody's looking around. Sam and Bucky get there, and Carly's there too. They're all just like looking. Yeah, it's just like what?
Like everybody is so stunned they can't even intervene, and then like, just that final shot is just wow. Like, just to see a blood-soaked, scorned, shield of just like, because he was like pounding on the guy's like neck, like,
yeah.
I thought it was the guy's head, right? But
I think it was his head, man.
I thought it was. I think it's his chest. They were implying.
Carson, have you have you gotten
his head's gone?
I probably not. Have you gotten to see the second season of The Boys yet?
No, I have not.
I was big.
What scene are you getting to?
This scene was like big Homelander vibes when he lands in that village, like, and he like uses his heat rays wrong, like taking out one dude, but it took out another.
Yeah, tragic.
They caught it. Like,
yeah. The Boys, the
Invincible vibes also.
Yeah, Invincible.
By the way,
I need
best show on television right now.
Jesus!
Wow! High praise.
Evan agrees with
Top Chef is pretty good right now, guys.
Oh, Big Brother Canada.
Superior. Yes, a Big Brother going
pretty
right
good. Now. Pretty bad. Yeah, you guys said it, not me. Yeah,
Invincible Big Brother.
I always see Evan replying to like the tweets from the official account, and like other Big Brother fans like reply to him, and he's like, "Are you crazy? You're so stupid!" Like,
yeah. Real sidebar. I was talking earlier this season. I'm like, I don't think the house gets respect this one contestant. They don't respect him. He's going to get backdoored. He's battling for fourth place right now. And right now in the season, they're going to backdoor his ass, throw him out of the house at final 7. He's about to get so upset. This is crazy. Anyway, watch Big Brother Canada. Everybody.
Well, not to bring the mood down, but
yeah. John Walker's cop.
Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, murder.
So
on camera.
On camera. A lot of cameras.
A POC as well. That's
sure.
Yeah, it's a very like big mirroring of like real world stuff we have seen in the last year that has been very like emotionally too
with the police brutality and everything.
Yeah, and like who's more like American police driven force looking than the Captain America suit,
right?
John,
like, the flag, literally.
Yeah, you really have a bloody flag.
So, what are the implications going to be of this? Like, this is pretty major. Does government cross out, say like, we gotta let him go, or is he going to go off the reservation? Basically, like, what's going to happen?
What I think is going to happen, similarly to the real world stuff, is I unfortunately think it's going to be shitty PR spin of the truth.
1,000%.
Despite all these,
you're off the books for 2 weeks, John. John pops on a plane, gets right back into it.
Yeah, he ain't getting arrested.
No, he's not. No.
It's interesting. I could feel like there could be different ways, and I think either one of these paths is going to lead to John just like going off the rails. Is still trying to be that symbol. But then like if again even more doubling down, like the American people are so not going to be on his side, then I feel like he's just going to take a very dark route or something. And that could maybe even like lead to whether he's like, okay, well now I'm in this situation because of Carly. I need to kill her, and that needs Sam and Bucky to intervene, and then like they're in their path too, and he's gonna want to take them down.
Yeah,
I would love
relating
to see
to
a respin of the earlier press tour scene in the beginning, like his introduction, but like this time it's his apology tour.
Absolutely, it would be
And
you guys think this is gonna happen?
He'll have a press conference or something.
A press conference?
Something.
yeah, this is Captain
Or somebody
America,
else will
man.
speak on his behalf.
This guy brutally hit somebody in the middle of. Oh man, I can definitely see that happening. I feel like he's just gonna be like, I'm out of here, take off his mic, and just like go on the run or something.
Could be.
And I think unfortunately, like, because we know this dude was pretty. I mean, Flag Smashers are kind of like doing pretty insane stuff, but like he was like relatively like a nice guy, but I'm sure the PR spin will probably try to paint him as a villain,
a terrorist, something like that. Yeah. But
What's
even
Chris?
then,
What's going
hey, what's up,
on?
Chris?
We're talking
So, yeah,
Winter Soldier spoilers.
Yeah, talking the end of Falcon Winter Soldier here. So
Episode 4.
Again, implications of this. I mean, this guy is totally off the list for Sam and Bucky. They definitely don't trust him at all after this horrific scene. Next week, we assume. Again, I've been saying it every week, but we assume they're going to go to New Orleans now because Sam's got a call from his sister. He seems to be heading to New Orleans to protect them. Mm-hmm. That might be when we get the training sequence with the shield. But how does Sam get the shield now? Does he come to walk and be like, you don't deserve the shield, takes it from him and runs off? Or what's going to happen? I still don't know how they get their shield.
I think next episode is going to be the confrontation with John. And then by the end of it, we'll have the shield that way, and then we'll get your training in the final episode.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I can see Sam and Bucky having a quick fight sequence at the beginning of the episode with John Walker, maybe. Sam and Bucky.
Like right after.
I think after this ordeal. I think after this ordeal, we could see a fight sequence in whatever the country they're at right now. And then in that fight sequence, he takes the shield from him. Then they head to New Orleans for the remainder of the episode.
I could see that. I also could see it being an instance of, it gets like impounded and they have to go retrieve it kind of deal. And then John comes after it. And that's where Sam really gets to claim the title and kind of now that he's ready to claim the shield, like he'll have his big monologue to John over, the ideals of the shield and Steve and everything. But yeah, I could totally see like Mission Impossible style, like John just makes eye contact with both of them. John just takes off because he doesn't know what else to do. They go into some warehouse. John just desperately is tired, throwing the shield at him, and just like is screaming. And maybe Bucky catches the shield or something, and just I could totally see it.
I can definitely also see they using the PR spin and like amplifying like the death of Lamar, as just like being like the fault of the victim.
Yep.
You know what it'd probably be that guy killed Lamar. They probably won't say, even though they said, unless on video probably.
And you know what? John's probably gonna go like right along with it.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And then I can see Carly feeling like shit because she saw her friend get murdered, and they're probably gonna be blaming him for it.
Oh yeah, they're beefing.
So Carly's gonna be very upset about everything going on there. So I'm very interested to see what happens with her now. Is she still going to have that? Oh, I mean, she's probably going to have even more so of a need to kill John Walker.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see who makes it out of this show. Is Carly dead in the water? Is John Walker dead in the water? I don't think so. I think he's more so of a prison person. Yes.
I gotta handle some things for a bit. Keep the show going.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
We got you.
We'll probably end out Captain America here. Oh, he's gone. But yeah, I think sets up some interesting stuff. I don't know who's going to live or die. We have 2 episodes left. I feel like both Carly and Zemo and John Walker could simply just go to jail by the end of the series. But I think less so Zemo. He's not going to jail again. But I can see John going to prison and Carly going to prison, if not dead. And will we see Sharon again? What's up with Sharon?
Yeah, that's what.
In the Power Broker.
Show up in person, probably with the Power Broker stuff. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
because I think we're seeing her one more time in person, probably episode 6 or maybe even next week.
I think so too. I mean, she again, if the Power Broker is somebody we've seen before, I'm going to assume it is Sharon. If it's somebody completely new, then okay, cool, awesome. Otherwise, it could be Thunderbolt Ross as well.
Yeah. There's so much to do in these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, which is funny because we've seen a lot of stuff from these last episodes already.
I'm curious to now see like the GRC / whoever's gonna be ahead of this press deal of like Captain America, like who's gonna be that person that's like trying to spin it out, and like whoever who's like the main guy responding to that.
I agree, and it's kind of the question I had. Similar to that, like early in the season, earlier in the show in general, the GRC was painted like badly by the Flag Smashers, and it's kind of been ramping up for week to week. And it had the very similar reaction I had to Sword, where I'm like, Sword in WandaVision was deemed very bad to see what they did to Vision, but the WandaVision finale kind of capped off this whole Sword storyline by saying, yeah, mainly though it was just I forget his name now.
Just the guy.
Just the guy.
Just kind of a common criticism we have. At least there's been. Well, I've seen a lot of recent conversations of like, how does the MCU and military propaganda and that there's been a lot of conversations about that, and like how a lot of times they'll blame it on like, oh, it's the one bad apple kind of deal instead of like the systemic like, conglomerate of the military or corporate America or whoever is behind the whole thing. So it's very interesting to see like how that blame is going to get distributed and or responded to next episode, because and I think it would actually make a really powerful scene to whoever's heading up this response to talk to Sam, and Sam obviously being enraged by this will be like, I trust you guys to like let this shield sit as a symbol for now, and then you went behind, just all this stuff, because that hasn't really boiled over yet because we've been in the thick of the action.
It could be as simple as a great scene from Black Panther at the end where he says like, I'm going to be following not in Killmonger's footsteps, but I'm just going to be helping out across the world as much as I can. Like when Black Panther came to Compton, wherever that was, and said like, I'm going to be helping out people all over. So he was kind of taking in Killmonger's ideals, but doing it in a good way. So I can see Sam doing that by like going to the GRC and having that conversation. Because I think the GRC needs to get like some kind of systemic change. I mean, the Flag Smashers aren't creating these issues out of nowhere. These are real issues that the GRC
it's all pent up from their actions.
So the GRC has to change by the end of the show, because it seems like a very important organization if we're talking about post-Endgame stuff, because this is a whole organization in charge of helping out people that have returned. So either the MCU totally just doesn't bring up the GRC in any other TV show after this, which might just happen, or they're going to change hopefully at the end of the show with the help of Sam.
And I think that correctiveness by Sam will be his first step probably in the legacy of his,
which would be amazing,
wielding the shield,
right?
Because it's a global fight, not a fight with the shield, and it would be really poignant for the end of the show, given everything we've already seen and learned about John Walker and how he's going down this path, and Sam going up this more reasonable and responsible path.
I would love that. Again, he'd be following like exactly what you said, following in Steve's legacy, and hopefully helping out Carly too, because they had a great conversation in this episode, and hopefully Carly can be. Which
makes me think she's gonna live, and there's gonna be some sort of compromise.
Agreed.
There.
Carly's gonna be like, thank you, but just like she'll be content. And Sam promising to help them out, because I think Sam has really good intentions in helping out Carly's people. He's just saying, try not to kill people along the way. That's whole Sam's thing there. But overall, great episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. I think it's one of my favorites. It was pretty good. Very curious to see where the next 2 episodes go.
I know, it's crazy that we're already going to be done with this show, and then I guess we get a little bit of a break now because Loki isn't till
June 18th, I think.
June, and now Black Widow is until July, so we're going to have, the month of May pretty much off, but of course we'll have Bad Batch, Star Wars wise, and I can't remember what else is airing. There's something.
Bad Batch, Star Wars, High School Musical 2.
That's right. That's yeah, the show we're all watching. I don't know. I kind of want to watch it.
First season pretty good. But we can dive into. Let me see what other notes I had. I think that's it for Falcon Winter Soldier. We can dive into some notes or stuff we had from last week that we didn't dive into too much. We can spend the next 20 or so minutes talking about some other news.
Yeah.
You want to start off with the. What were you about to say?
Yeah, you can do any.
I was thinking Knives Out.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Which is pretty big ordeal here. Netflix is going to pay $400 million in Knives Out 2 and Knives Out 3. So Knives Out 3 seems to be confirmed here as well.
I think the total now is 469 million or something.
Wow, yeah, 459 million for the Knives Out sequels. And the big thing is not Lionsgate, but Netflix.
Right. Yeah, and the big thing that I was like shocked on at first is when Ryan and Ram first approached this deal after Last Jedi, they, I guess, co-finance or did it. There's another production company called MRC, and then their production company is T Street.
T Street, yes.
And so through that, they did a one-picture deal with distribution for Lionsgate, which I'm shocked that after the
Mephisto.
I'm shocked we just started Knives Out talk.
Okay. So you guys wrapped up Falcon Winter Soldier?
Yeah. Did you have any last comments about Falcon Winter Soldier?
I'm loving it.
Yeah. Well, real quick, give us your we were talking about it would be really cool to see Sam's legacy start off, but kind of reforming the GRC a little bit and simultaneously helping Carly and her people, but also kind of obviously taking down John Walker and kind of becoming this new symbol. Do you see that kind of because we're talking about next week specifically, we want to see whoever that head person is going to be kind of formulating the response, or who's in charge of John Walker and his authority kind of deal of that would be an interesting scene between Sam and them to break things down, especially now that this act at the end of this episode 4 happened.
Yeah, I would hope maybe we could. It was unfortunately not as beneficial in real life, but I hope with inner working connections that Sam has maybe in talks with Rhodey or somebody, since he was in the first episode. Maybe we can properly get together and the taking John Walker out of his position of power that he has, and then maybe just again through good actions and stuff that. Not just through the means of we know that we want Sam to be Cap, but maybe people of the MCU can see the good he's doing and make a kind of a self-appointed he should be our
cool
leader in that regard. And it would be a lot of emotional weight, I think.
That'd be awesome, especially Evan Bucky doing that too. Bucky being I trust this guy. He's my friend.
Evan was also talking about how T'Challa kind of evolves on Killmonger's actions at the end of Black Panther or something like that,
or even during too. He was just all he was with the kings of the past, just all of you were wrong to leave this child alone.
Yeah,
so lots of good stuff potential.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been enjoying every episode. I feel I like the next episode every time. It just gets better and better for me. So I really think they're gonna stick to landing, and it's gonna be something great.
Hopefully.
Episode 5.
We could see Baltrox the Leaper again.
Yeah. Character alongside Thor. Who's it going to be? I don't know.
We're bringing back...
Beta Ray Bill.
We're bringing back Peter Dinklage as...
Oh, gosh.
Petrie.
As Petrie.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about his character in Days of Future Past for some reason.
I know.
Trask.
God, he is
the Trask of the MCU.
He was, he was in that new movie. I Care a Lot with.
He was so good.
He was fantastic in that movie.
So good.
That movie came and went, and people really liked it. But that movie is still in my top 5 of this year. It's
easily number 3. I think.
I love that movie. Rosenpike, amazing. Isn't Isa Gonzalez in that one too?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a
Yeah.
supporting actress.
Yeah, she's amazing too. Like that movie.
Yeah, I think I liked her more in Godzilla vs Kong though.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, I tuned
Okay.
into Lionsgate. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna let Evan take back that compliment. I heard you guys talking about Lionsgate. You talking about Knives Out?
Yeah, Knives
Yes.
Out 2 and 3, $450 million for this Netflix, which is crazy. And I think recently, just this week, they added some more news to it, saying Ryan and Craig are getting like $100 million each for these sequels.
Wait, was Knives Out Lionsgate?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Distributed by.
Distributed by Lionsgate.
It was
okay.
mostly funded by MRC and then Ryan and Ram's company T Street, I believe, and that's why it was so. Apparently, I was just mentioning before you hop back on that, like, they had the one picture deal with Lionsgate, and then I guess before the pandemic, they were about to go shop around the deal, and they were gonna go right back to Lionsgate. But with the pandemic changing the whole theatrical landscape and deal making at the time, they started shopping it around because they really wanted to get filming, specifically at the spring or summer of this year.
Yeah.
And so they in like January or something, they started shopping around, and at that point, Lionsgate couldn't bid for these streamers where it wasn't feasible, and so they thought in terms of like everything that this would be the best position, which I guess it makes a lot of sense because we are seeing a lot wider releases of, at least I found it easier to go see the Netflix movies. It used to be really hard for me to like go see A Marriage Story or
I still don't have them.
Which
is weird. Like I have them in Kansas. Like
what was the last Netflix movie you saw, Cars?
Mank.
Yeah, I could have easily saw Mank at my indie theater as well. Marriage Story was a bit difficult. I had to go a bit farther for Marriage Story, but worth it because it was really good.
I'm jealous.
I saw
I
Marriage
want to
Story.
hear Adam Driver punch a wall in surround sound, please.
Yeah,
It was really good. Roma I did not see in theaters, but Roma's boring anyways.
God damn it.
I forgot that's where Evan lays on Roma. It's like,
Yeah, I thought you did too.
well, I mean,
I think
I'm gonna be over here with Roma and the Irishman.
I think I saw another Netflix.
I need to watch
movie
these
in
films
theaters.
with Carson, and he'll like commentate.
Please.
He
I'll
was,
do a personal
well,
commentary.
Nathan, the mise en scène in the scene.
Oh, you see the dog shit that they clean up every scene.
Who was that guy on Twitter the other day that Evan said? He said, "Oh, I personally don't get anything out of the mise en scène of Denis Villeneuve."
I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Yeah.
He's like, I personally think more people need to watch the classics of Tony Scott, who's Clint Eastwood. I'm like, okay, he's made like 2 good movies.
John Wayne, I think.
I mean, Clint Eastwood has made some great movies. But...
Some great ones, but like he's not like
I agree.
You're not like best
not
director
like God.
Clint Eastwood. Like it's Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Unforgiven is a masterpiece, but
Clint Eastwood's
Anyways.
great. Clint Eastwood's great, but I'm probably just gonna chill Bruce Lee over here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to Knives Out.
Knives Out. The most shocking thing about this is theatrical. Hopefully, we can get a good release from this. Ryan has not commented on this news at all, so it hasn't officially happened. But like,
it's definitely gonna. Happen.
It's definitely gonna happen, right? Because I'm waiting for Ryan to be like, he hasn't tweeted like in support of Netflix. He hasn't tweeted anything the last couple of weeks since the announcement.
I need a simultaneous theater release at some point.
Right? Like I want him. I think the beauty he said of Knives Out was like he even had a thing where you could go into the theater and listen to his commentary, right? Last year,
I think he had like uploaded a file and you just like hit play at the right time.
Yeah, which you could easily. What?
Netflix is good at that type of marketing, and especially if they go for, because we remember that this was nominated for a screenplay. If they decide to pursue more awards with, could even be Daniel Craig, and I'm sure this is going to be a A-list cast, whoever it is.
Adam Driver.
So, yeah, I would love to see it.
I will die if I get to see Adam Driver in a Whodunit by Ryan Johnson.
Oh my God.
My new pitch, because we will be talking about the Mummy movies momentarily, is to have our boy Brendan Fraser play play Daniel Craig's long-lost brother,
Whoa,
who is
okay,
also a
yeah.
detective,
Lost
and they
there.
will be bickering back and forth about who is the better detective.
Oh no.
Carson, you might be getting into a Now You See Me 2 Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
situation.
Except they're not twins, damn it, and they don't have to perform the weird in-scene, like, looking, the eye lines are off because they're looking at... Oh, man.
That was bad. Or we can just have Brendan Fraser as a
Whoever. He
as a
played
victim.
Do you guys remember when Brendan Fraser posted the Rotten Tomato score of Tom Cruise's Mummy and he just captioned "If it ain't broke"?
Oh no, I didn't
what
see
a
that.
king.
That's
Yeah,
What a
hilarious.
king.
that's on his like Instagram.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I'm waiting for Ryan to see like what his thoughts on it in terms of theatrical, because I think he, of course, as he's one of those directors that loves the theatrical experience. So
I think it's 100% in the contract, and I think the fan screenings will be a huge... Like, the fan screening of Knives Out that I went to was like one of the most fun theater experiences. I've never seen people
Right.
laugh more,
I went to,
community-wise
great.
together.
I went to both fan screenings like pre-Thanksgiving. Also, I'm very happy to report I have both audience reactions for those still on my phone.
Thank goodness.
Nice.
And god damn it, they're so good.
That's awesome.
Oh, one more thing before we...
Yeah, sure.
The only other mandate, like a little snippet in there, was that Netflix is mandating that Ryan gets full creative control, but also they're mandating that the budgets be at least $40 million each. So they're mandating that the budgets be at least the original budget for Knives Out, which is kind of a weird Netflix mandate. Is like,
yeah, that's really weird, but awesome. Yeah.
Should that be default? Like...
Yeah, it should be. But it goes to say, like, these are a lot of the mid-budget movies are going straight to Netflix. Like a mid-budget or even bigger are going straight to Netflix, which is pretty big thing, especially in this pandemic times. When do you guys think Knives Out 2? This seems to be Knives Out 2 November 2023 or 2022, I would assume.
Yeah, let me pull up.
Actually, November 2022 is too busy. I would say like
Ryan, Star Wars when?
I would assume, I know, right? When I would assume if they're filming in July, then
in Greece, which is
in Greece,
gets my brain reeling.
Then I would assume either next summer or next fall for some awards contention.
Yeah, it's looking too busy, mainly because
November 2022 is
I would put it November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving, but the other amazing Thanksgiving franchise, Creed, is already there. And plus, we have 2 comic book movies with
Captain Marvel 2.
Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah. And Mission Impossible was there, but it's gone.
Where's my part 1 and 2, Macquarie? What?
I know. I'm pissed.
Are they no longer like a year apart?
They are now.
They are. It's going to be May 2022, and
we can talk about all that right now as well.
July 2023 for Mission Impossible 8.
Let's just name every release date change where I'm once again feeling just as confused.
Yeah. So
okay, Top Gun moved from the July date to Mission Impossible's November date.
November 17th this year.
Which
is interesting because
once
November
again,
17th,
this happened before. This happened last year where it was like, oh, I left the 4th of July. But then it came back and I was like, smart. And it's gone again. I'm like, but it was so perfect.
But Tom Cruise, still there.
So right now, it's coming out a week after Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is not going to be much competition.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing's coming out for the rest of November besides the Pixar's Encanto.
And Gucci the last week. Gucci goes wide November 24th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't have that on my schedule. Interesting. Okay, Gucci November 24th.
Oh, random thought, because like I bought like new Blu-rays today. I was walking around this Walmart and guess what they had like around that section?
What?
They had action figures for Dune of Timothy Chalamet's character.
I need it.
I was like, what? That's cool.
And then another interesting change is now they moved up Snake Eyes from the October 2021 date to Top Gun's July date. So they moved it up like 4 months.
Now this is a G.I. Joe spinoff, right?
And they said, well, take the bait, I guess, of like, hopefully, I think the main motivation was that they want, Top Gun to be big, obviously worldwide. Like, obviously they want Snake Eyes to be big worldwide too, but
Top Gun has those IMAX contracts,
yes,
which is where
and so they want all
Sounds
out.
so good.
They want all out premium format. Europe is all the way open. Every market is like, as open as possible, which makes sense for a film as big as this. Snake Eyes is interesting, but I think it could be like kind of a sleeper hit with it because there's not really anything else there besides
Henry Golding is Snake Eyes. Like he's a great actor.
I told you guys
Henry
before.
Golding? Henry Golding. So. I'm pretty sure I
From
remember.
Crazy Rich Asians. He's a husband.
Right.
My friend saw a test screening of this.
Oh, cool.
And they said it was awesome.
Henry Golding's in The Gentleman, right?
He is. He plays the crazy villain.
Right. He's also in Last Christmas with Amelia Clarke, which
I have not seen that. Yeah.
But apparently they shot. My friend was telling me no plot details or anything. I didn't ask, but like, that they shot this like a lot on location. And it looks really like gorgeous.
Oh my God, Carson.
What?
You watch the Mummy movies?
Yes.
Watch G.I. Joe because Brendan Fraser's in it and he plays a descendant of his character from the Mummy.
What?
It's weird because I've seen
canon.
G.I. Joe.
That's canon, yeah.
I did not know that.
That's crazy. I've seen the G.I. Joe movies, and now it's just going to be a whole new experience.
That's
You'll
crazy.
hear like his last name, and it's like, no, it's actually because.
Yeah, July 23rd is Snake Eyes and M. Night's Old on the same weekend.
Oh my God, wait, when's Old coming out?
July 23rd.
July 23rd. Wow.
Same day as Snake Eyes. That's crazy.
And
So such a
also,
disturbing 30-second clip.
I believe, kind of some indirect competition. Chris Pratt and Chris McKay's Tomorrow War Amazon bought it, so it's going to Prime, but it will be out.
Same thing with just like what's his name? Michael B. Jordan's Without Remorse coming out in a few.
Yeah, I take it back. July is busy. I forgot that Jungle Cruise is still coming out, and there'll be Space Jam: New Legacy.
Right now we have Black Widow, followed by Space Jam, followed by Snake Eyes, followed by Jungle Cruise. The week after Jungle Cruise is Suicide Squad, and then
then Free
Suicide
Guy,
Squad.
then Bios,
Yeah,
then
Free
Candyman,
Guy,
and Reminiscence.
Wow, this is going to be this fall weekend is going to be hit after.
I didn't
hit
realize.
Hit.
In July, there's also a limited release for Summertime, which is the Carlos Lopez Estrada's second feature after Blonde Spotting that everybody saw last year, and it never got a release date after the festivals. So
interesting.
I'm excited to see that.
So yeah, so movie wise, schedule wise, big stuff coming up.
There was two other moves. I can't remember. Something else moved. Oh, they dated Star Trek for a summer 2023 date.
Yeah,
What?
I think
Finally.
like a June or July for 2023. Yeah.
Wait, what Star Trek is this?
Untitled. We don't know if it's the continuation or that. Because what was the last update that?
So right now,
Tarantino.
yeah,
No, we're past that.
Yeah.
But I think right now the other option was the guy who did that one FX Marvel show. What is it called?
Legion.
The guy who did Legion, Noah Hawley, right?
Didn't he leave? I swear he left.
Maybe he left. I thought he was
I
Star Trek.
No, because remember, there was the female director.
She was
Who
gone.
we're all excited about. She left.
Yeah.
Then there was Noah Hawley, and then it sounded like that was going to be new, but then they're like, oh, maybe we still want to do continued, and then I don't know if there was one more director or not.
I'm not sure. But do you guys, this can't be the continuation of the Chris Pine's crew, right?
It's too late now, I think.
They started in
Never say never.
2009. 2009 was their first movie together.
Actually reminds me because
years.
You know what? Because I'm just remembering how every time Evan would gush about Star Trek 2009,
Fantastic movie.
we need to
never
we
say
need to
never,
commentary
though.
that trilogy.
Yes.
Oh, we 1000% do. No, first we have to watch the trailer, then we watch the
Yes,
movie.
we gotta screen the trailer before the movie itself.
Because the trailer is just one of the best trailers of all time.
It's
We need
pretty
a
good.
captain. We have one. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. I love Star Trek 2009.
But no, I gotta have hope that we'll come back because they're so good.
They're so good, but yeah, it would be 10 years. It would be like 14 or so years.
If they don't want to keep going, then give me my Generations reboot, and then we'll start going to the next generation cast.
Wow.
Okay,
James McAvoy is Picard.
So the latest is to be produced by JJ, which obviously his name is just attached to all this crap. But
wow.
I didn't mean crap. I meant like stuff.
I guess.
I didn't.
But the last update was that Paramount ordered a script from a writer from Star Trek Discovery, Kalinda Vasquez, and it is said to be a original idea that Vasquez had pitched to them.
Evan,
so
you have what's now Paramount Plus. Have you checked out either Picard or Discovery?
I have not. No, not at all. Too busy watching old seasons of Survivor.
Fair. I really want to watch Survivor now. Like we talk about it so much, I'm just like, damn.
It's great.
I'll like set it for like every Wednesday. I'll just watch an episode, just like it
Survivor
used to be.
said to be filming.
Oh yeah, Noah Hawley. Paramount pulled the plug on his Star Trek film that was very close
cool.
to production.
Never mind then.
I don't know.
Other news: John Williams is back for Indy 5.
Oh my
That's
god,
right.
I'm so
With
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Waller-Bridge.
whoever the casting director is,
Han and L3 reunite.
bravo, because
yeah,
I could never even think of this, but like their personality. I tweeted the other day. I cannot wait for this press tour. It is going to be the best thing since Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford went on their Blade Runner press tour.
Even Ryan and Harrison have very similar, like just tired grandpa attitude.
Yeah, and Phoebe just has a lot of energy, and it's just gonna
I need to watch
play
that
off of
Amazon
so
show.
well.
Yeah, I need to
And
watch it too.
My head is already spinning of like what her character could be, of like their kind of dynamic of like this younger, like probably more optimistic kind of character that would clash with like an old indie, kind of pulls them back into the conflict, that kind of deal. And my head is racing of how fun it's gonna be.
Very curious to see what she's gonna do. I don't think she's gonna be continuing the mantle, but I mean, she could just play like a very cool, like just sidekick kind of role.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so curious.
Somebody was like piecing together based on Harrison's like the in canon when Indiana Jones was born and like what year
Geez.
and with the age it was
no.
oh my god, he's gonna be in 1977. He can go see Star Wars.
Oh, I did see that. That was kind of fun.
That's awesome.
What do you guys think?
Star Wars.
I wonder what like aspect they're gonna explore for Indy in like the time period if they're gonna go like 70s.
If I was them, I'd just go crazy with the timeline. Doesn't matter. Just fight Nazis again. Doesn't matter.
And I think it's so
Nazis
interesting.
again in the 70s. Oh no.
We got James Mangold. I forget that we're our first time ever we'll have a new director at the helm for an indie movie.
Yeah, I know Spielberg will be producing, but like
Yeah, but still.
Mangold.
Paycheck, yeah.
You think George's gonna visit set too?
No.
I imagine. Well, at least
Oh,
a
yeah.
visit.
He'll
A
visit
visit. I'm not saying he's gonna be there every day.
Steve will call him
This
up
man
and be
shows
like,
up every
"Hey,
Star Wars, and he's just like, "All right, a puppet."
He'll put a show from the EW cover, and that's it.
Yeah, why not?
George shows up at like one day per project, and he's just like, "Oh, a puppet, okay."
Okay, yeah. Take a picture. All right, good, John. Okay.
Blurry picture.
Which was like, that's crazy that like that photo was like during season 1, and it's like
Right.
it's
Yeah,
for
that's why.
season 2. God.
What other news do we have here? Oh, big news for next year: the Netflix and Sony deal. Netflix has signed a deal to stream all of Sony's 2022 movies, but not like HBO Max. They won't be day and date. It will just be once Sony's movies are
Streaming
done.
rights, right?
Yeah, once Sony's movies are done theatrically, they'll go straight to streaming, which I assume would be.
It's also after their normal digital physical release window, so it'll be. Like, yeah.
Okay.
But
God damn it!
They
Disney
still have
Plus.
first rights. They still have first rights to
So
streaming.
would you say that's after the 45 day? That'll be way longer than 45
So
days.
it's probably be like
I
you
give
know,
it-
after.
I give it 5 months from release.
5 months.
I'd say maybe like 3 to 4 months after, maybe at the earliest.
Yeah.
Mhm. Interesting. Yeah, that's really cool. So the next few Spider-Man movies are going to be on Netflix.
I will never get Disney Plus Spider-Man movies ever. I would never have a full collection on my Disney Plus of the MCU.
I know it is kind of like it's the same thing we talked about a couple weeks ago of like that the Harry Potter rights are going to be bouncing back and forth for the next 5 years between Peacock and HBO Max. So you just,
My
not
streaming
that we already
service
own
is
them, but
Vudu.
like
Haha. I
Contract-
buy everything.
Contracts are so weird. Like, we have New Mutants on HBO Max.
Oh.
so strange.
Wow. Wait, Carson, you never got to see it, right?
New Mutants?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
I
you're
watched
like later
it.
to it.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't like egregious.
decent.
That's everyone's aspect. It's like, oh, okay. I thought it was just.
I had a pretty good time.
Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had a
I was
good
looking
time.
at the other news. What was it?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about.
Evan didn't spam all his notes in chat, so I don't know.
Sorry,
I'm going through my Twitter retweets.
New Gods in the Trench was canceled last week.
I never had faith in the trench happening.
Yeah, I never
I
thought the
was
Trench.
so excited for the Trench. Okay, I can't fake it. I gave 0 fucks about the Trench. Nobody cared for the Trench. I remember driving.
Ocean, ocean.
Well, why? I remember getting the news
We
while I
need
was
a compilation.
driving about the Trench. I'm just like, I'll continue driving. Like nobody cared. Nobody cared about the Trench. I remember a lot of news sites were like, "There's an interesting premise here," because one of the best parts about Aquaman was this whole Trench sequence. It was a cool 5-minute sequence.
The only aspect I could hop on was like, yes, James Wan horror ocean, yes, but otherwise I was like
boring.
Yeah, it seemed.
Yeah.
Cool
you
on
need to sell
paper.
me on like something, like a trailer.
Like,
or
what is
something.
the plot going to be?
What the
Like,
plot
you
of the
can't just
Trench?
make a movie
Are
about
we
the
following,
Trench
like-
aesthetic.
Yeah, are we following Atlanteans or are we just like?
I remember they were
Hello?
like, we could shoot this before Aquaman 2. I'm like, that's never going to happen. Never.
I would put more stakes on what's actually happening, where like James Gunn films a holiday special while filming Guardians 3 before you get a trench film.
Exactly. So that was the Trench. But the more sad news is that Ava DuVernay's New Gods was canceled, which I was very excited for. At one point, I thought this was going to film and come out before Eternals, but that's not happening. And
Yeah.
I was just so excited for Ava DuVernay working with DC, her version of maybe Dark Side.
We need to cut
Big
back to
Bertha.
a previous show where we're discussing DC projects and like we're naming stuff, and I'm like, New Gods, Ava's New
Right.
Gods, and Evan was like, that's not happening, and then it
Did
got
I say that?
canceled. And I'm like, you manifested that
Oh, no.
bullshit.
That's it.
That's
Oh,
so
no.
painful. And also, like,
Yikes.
it's like it was like right at the end of that era where like there'd been like 20 announcements from DC.
So many announcements. Every
And-
week there was a new announcement.
And then there was finally that little
Oh
break.
god, I remember it was like, here's the Cyborg movie, here's the Batman, the Superman, the Green Lantern Corpse, and
We were like, DC can't do this, right? They can't
It
do
was
this.
just
they had
bonkers.
They had over 20 films announced at one point.
And
Yeah.
this was like the thing that I'm like, okay, this is the one that's gonna make it out, because it was like it was a sure thing. They'd already started writing. Ava was
Yeah.
hyping up with
Tom King.
with Tom King on Twitter, and I'm like, and now the fact that like they don't want to do it supposedly because it just right now it's not going to align with
That's BS.
continuity or what.
That's BS.
I don't know what's going on, but it's
I just think, granted, I think they have a lot on their plate right now with Wonder Woman 3, Shazam 2 and 3, Black Adam 2 and 3,
Yeah.
Aquaman 2 and 3. There's just a lot of sequels they want to do to their
Finish out,
existing characters that are established successes. And along with that, they're going to be doing new ones like Satana, Supergirl, Batgirl. Their whole idea that they have with Batman's Matt Reeves trilogy. There is a lot on the plate that seems a lot interesting, or very interesting, for the future of DC. I have a lot of faith for the future of DC, but it's just that the New Gods is a sad sacrifice they have to make at this point.
The
Hopefully-
dark side stuff we could have had.
I know, right? Because remember, there's rumors that we could see some kind of Thanos in Eternals. I mean, he is a
Yeah.
eternal being related to those. So I'm just like, I would love to see some kind of New Gods material in the future. I just want to see Ava work on something. I really miss her as a director. Hopefully she has something in the books coming up. In terms of other news that I have here, Sly Stallone not going to be in Creed 3. Not really a surprise.
Really?
Have you guys seen Creed 2?
No.
oh,
Uh-oh.
You guys haven't seen Creed 2?
I've seen
No.
Creed two.
Uh-oh, now I'm scared.
I'm just
Oh.
being ominous.
He didn't die in Creed 2.
He didn't-
Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
He didn't die.
Yeah, no.
I was like,
But he did have a whole. I remember watching a video on Instagram where Stallone had a video on Instagram saying farewell to the character at the end of like the press tour for Creed 2. He was like, I had a great time with Michael and the director of Creed 2. I think this is it for Stallone, or at least for Rocky. I think he did say never say never, but I think at that point he was like, I think he's saying goodbye to the character. which means he might be dead by the point of Creed 3. But I don't mind it really. I was kind of ready for it. I do like the Creed trilogy. I'm happy that Michael's directing it.
Normalize characters retiring without dying.
I know, right? Yeah, I hope that's the
Right.
case. Maybe, like, remember he had. I don't want to spoil it for Creed 2, but there's some stuff with his family in Creed 2, so maybe that could tie into
Yeah, to be
Creed
the
3.
out kind of
Exactly.
what's happening.
There is the Ray Fisher story, but we could save that for next week so we can have more time for that.
It's
Yeah.
dense.
It's
Yeah.
dense.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot there.
So I
So
think we should talk about
I'll
it.
save that for next week.
Yeah, it'd be good to keep the conversation alive anyway.
1,000%. I think that's about it. Do you have anything else, Carson?
The only thing was the new Those Who Wish Me Dead, or the Angelina Jolie trailer.
Oh
out.
yeah, I have some trailers for like the new Guy Ritchie movie, Spiral, and Those Who
Yeah,
Wish Me Dead.
I saw a few of these. I didn't see the second Spiral trailer yet.
I saw the second Spiral one in front of Godzilla. Really good.
Really?
Really good trailer. I'm already sold on it. I just saw one again.
Nice.
It's been a long time since
Sounds
seen Saw
fun.
one.
Sounds a fun franchise.
I haven't seen any of the sequels to Saw.
Really? You've only seen the first
I've
one?
only seen the first one. I only saw the first one like a decade ago. It's
I
been a
haven't
while.
seen a Saw.
Evan, I need to. Oh my god, I need to go on this journey with you guys.
I haven't
No,
seen a
makes me
Saw.
laugh.
I haven't seen a Saw, a Halloween, or a Friday the 13th.
You haven't seen Halloween?
I haven't seen Halloween.
Wow!
Wait, you've seen like the OG Halloween, right?
No.
Oh wow!
But have you seen 2018 Halloween?
No.
Oh wow!
You haven't never seen a Halloween.
Never seen a
You
Halloween.
haven't seen a Friday night or what is it called? Friday.
Friday the 13th.
Friday
or whatever.
13th.
I'm only going to show
Wow.
Carson Season of the Witch. That's all I'm going to.
Show you there. I mean, I haven't seen Season of the Witch either. I've seen Halloween 1, 2.
I heard Season of the Witch is good on its own. It's just like
I haven't seen Season
people
of
were
the
butthurt that there was no Michael Myers because they wanted to start anthology seriesing it, but
I
everyone
didn't,
was like,
I didn't
"Where's
see
he at?"
H2O either. I think
Wow.
Halloween H2O, but I did see 2018's Halloween. Wow, that's
Anyways,
Saw
yeah,
Saw
that's
one
my
is
blind spot.
masterpiece. Saw 1 is
I-
great.
Yeah, God, I need to. And Carson, you haven't seen any Saw movies?
Nope.
Saw
I-
1 is great. You would love it.
Oh my God, I need to go on this journey with you guys, because dude, it gets. What the fuck? It gets convoluted in the best ways. It's so
ready.
fun.
But okay, I think this last 10 minutes here. Let's discuss some of these new movies that Carson has seen.
Yeah.
I think has everybody seen something new? I
Oh
have.
yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, I've
10
seen.
minutes.
I went on a binge like.
And then I got a Blu-ray haul.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's start with Carson first.
I gonna save some of the more recent ones for next week, like, because I really want to just dedicate to talk about the Mummy, the the second Mummy right now.
The second movie. You saw it. You saw The Rock.
I saw him and I like
Oh,
my brain wasn't clicking until like I got to that opening. I'm like, oh yeah, cool opening, and it's like, oh! I'm like, what? This is where the GIF is from. Just like it was so strange. To,
Are
like,
you gonna check out The Rock's Scorpion King film?
the way he has his own film.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they spun off from it.
It's spun off, yeah.
I think that was like The Rock's big like movie break. Honestly,
Oh no.
He has a whole video reacting to it on his channel too.
Okay, I definitely gotta check
Scorpion
it
King
out.
is pretty solid.
The first one. Everything else is like very random and direct
Yeah.
to DVD. Lou Ferrigno gets in there on like the fourth one.
Oh wow.
But guys, the
I saw
Mummy,
it on a DVD shelf. I was like, what the hell is happening?
the Mummy is like a perfect blockbuster. I have nothing to say
Yeah.
other to say than that. Like performances, the chemistry between Weitz and Brendan Fraser, amazing. The comedy holds up tremendously towards like it's just like a perfect era of like it comes out of character. Like who's the brother character when the they first get raided at the camp and he just like swigs the thing and it's like runs into bat, like there's so many little moments of like perfection, and just like the whole adventure of it is just amazing. I love those type of adventure movies, and I don't know, I just had a blast with it. Like I expected to have fun with it, but it was like, and it honestly made me like angry about the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do you watch the original Mummy and say,
Let's
I think
make it
the
the
thing that
MCU.
didn't work about it was
Yeah.
the less self-serious tone and like fun adventure part. Let's just zap all of that out and make it like serious Russell Crowe monologue with like what?
With
I don't
still
under-
random humor, is odd.
It's not the best
Anyways.
way. But yeah, the thing about the Mummy is like it has that perfect 1999 action adventure comedy action,
Mhm.
taking it seriously but not too seriously. I mean, it's just fantastic. That scene in the beginning when Brendan's getting hanged, that's actually him getting hanged. He actually filmed that.
Oh no way.
Which was
He
insane.
actually tried to die.
He actually tried.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So that was insane. I mean, The Mummy is one of my all-time top 10 favorite movies of all time, probably. I mean, this is a movie I see
that's great.
literally every year. Every year. It's between The Mummy and National Treasure, between movies I see like whenever I go back home for the holidays. It's one of those two movies.
And the set pieces in this movie are so good. Like it's like one of the last because it's so weird thinking about it as like a time capsule of like simultaneously like George is doing all the digital stuff and then like this is kind of like before like pre-2000 like one of those blockbusters that like does a lot like non-green screen. It has like those big set builds and like not saying the prequels didn't have that because they did have a bunch of stuff, but it's just like practical effects, horses riding everywhere. Like
Everything's changed, but nothing's changed.
Like there's like 20 horses like in frame. I'm like, oh my god, they're actually like all riding around and like doing all these.
They're in that
things.
desert. They're like,
yeah, and I'm like, this is awesome.
It's awesome. The cast feels like a family between.
And that's what sells it the most.
those
Is they are
two,
so good.
The brother, I forget his name already too.
I also really like the protector dude dressed in black.
I was about to say I forget his name, but the guy in black, his whole group.
Yeah, and he's even better in the second movie.
Yeah, badass. Yeah, he's just.
I
so
really
cool.
am curious to see what Carson thinks of Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
I will watch it, but I've heard very, very bad things about
Yes,
it.
that's a movie, but
I think you can find enjoyment. It's just not going to be.
You can. It's not awful.
It's not the same Mummy.
It's just not Mummy, right? It's more of a modern day blockbuster compared to a blockbuster of the Mummy era, where the Mummy and Mummy 2, because I really like Mummy 2.
Don't they recast Rachel Weisz
in 3? Yeah, I forget who she is in 3.
Looks nothing like Rachel Weisz.
Nothing like
How
Rachel
dare
Weisz.
they?
They recasted her. The son in the 3 is terrible too, but
I haven't watched it in forever.
the Mummy and Mummy 2 are just the epitome of what a blockbuster.
Yeah, Mummy 2, I will say, despite its egregious effects and whatever, it is still a blast. I had a fun.
Oh, yeah.
with the movie.
The kid is good. The kid is
The
so
kid
good.
is good.
The kid with the bracelet.
People hate him.
This kid is just like, actually, we're not screwed, Dad. Like, I got this bracelet. I'm like, and we got a London double-decker bus scene. I'm like, this automatically is Prisoner of Azkaban. 4 stars. Here we go.
Yeah.
I love when he's outrunning the sun at the end of the movie. when he grabs the sun. I'm like, let's go.
And the actual fight with the Rock in the tomb is awesome. Like,
it's so funny.
There is
watch Mr. Sunday movies.
Yeah,
I thought they killed.
That shot. You know that shot where it's like it's like
It's
1
hard.
second too long, and then the Emotep comes and he's like, no.
Yep. And you know what? I thought they killed Rachel Weisz for a second. I was so pissed. I'm like, you cannot just
when they stab her.
Yeah.
Heartbroken.
I was so sad, and I'm
Mummy
like,
2 is so good.
and they're flying around in this hot air balloon. They're like outrunning this dude's like waterfall with a face on it. I'm
So
like,
much fun.
I'm in.
Let's
I'm
go. And the score, this movie, this
Yeah.
series
so good.
wouldn't be the same without the fantastic score. I forget who's doing the.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up for me. Because the score is just fantastic for the Mummy series. But man, like they feel like a family. The great action, great set pieces. It's hilarious. And the thing about those older blockbusters, like even the smaller characters have certain lines of dialogue we just remember. Just like that little squirm Remy, like. You're on the other side of the river.
Wrong side of the river.
It's just like small lines.
good.
So good.
The soundtrack was by Jerry Goldsmith.
I must say Jerry Bruckheimer. Like it's not Jerry Bruckheimer. It's Jerry Gold.
No, he's the executive
He's
producer.
the producer.
Right.
Yeah. Jerry
I would
Gold.
always joke about you know how like everyone would be like, goddamn Vince Gilligan at the end of every Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's me with Jerry Bruckheimer at the end of every fucking Lucifer episode. I'm like, god damn it, Jerry.
But yeah, what an experience! Like, I'm so glad I watched these. They're awesome, and just cast. Why did we fail Brendan Fraser as an actor?
Why do we fail those blockbusters? I missed
Why-
that.
That
man.
it's pirate. That's the Pirates era as well, which
Yeah,
was the
Yeah.
first.
Pirates One is another example of a
So
perfect blockbuster.
fun. Like, what happened to that? Like, and it's like now are not allowed to have that blend. It has to be like the over
Bombastic
serious,
and
or it has to
crazy.
be insanely cheesy with
Yeah.
no stakes at all.
MCU connectivity,
I,
big franchise.
I was about to say the MCU kind of happened, but because everybody wants their new Guardians of the Galaxy,
Right.
they want their Guardians, they want their Avengers, they want their Suicide Squad.
Every Universal
Yeah.
film kept trying to like make interconnective thing. Like I remember like Dracula Untold, and they were like trying to set up stuff there. They had I Frankenstein. They had with Aaron Eckhart.
You know what though? I think we're turning around post Invisible Man because
Yes.
they're giving like they're just saying, hey, Clay Zhao, have this property. Hey, same guy that did I cannot Lay
Now.
Lay Whannell.
Lee Whannell, yeah. Who is in Saw 1 as one of the actors.
Oh my god! And they're like, "Hey, do
He's
Wolfman
really
with
good.
Ryan Gosling," and they're just like, they're not worried about connectivity. They're just like, "Here, do your whatever you want to do with this property." Drawing.
Do you know that Lee Whannell has a cameo in Aquaman?
No, I didn't.
I actually
Yeah,
did know that.
Yeah, he's the pilot flying them over the desert before they jump out
Yes.
of the plane.
Oh,
That's
before the
hilarious.
song kicks in. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, before
yeah.
the song kicks in.
But all I could think about was just like, hell yeah, Saw reunion, James Wan.
Nice.
But anyways,
Yeah,
fun
I
times.
love those movies. Perfect movies.
Absolutely.
So I saw Attack the Block last week for the first time.
That's not to see it.
Nathan.
So yeah, no spoilers, but it's just a great movie overall. It's one of those great, fun 90-minute movies, short and sweet, where aliens crash land.
It's got a lot to say.
A lot to say about the African American experience, especially in London.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Really good script. Like, I don't know how you write a script like that.
really smart
Back,
script.
like, yeah.
Yeah. It feels authentic in terms of like if aliens actually invaded this one random block for some random reason. Again, it's not a lot is explained because it doesn't need to be explained. It's just a 90-minute monster movie.
Creature design.
Creature
Talked
design,
about that.
pretty
Crazy.
incredible. Pretty
Like,
incredible.
For like $5 million. You know,
It's
it's made for like $5 million.
neon teeth, right?
Yeah, neon teeth. I mean, the fur looks kind of real, but also it's a little mix of CGI as well. But you could tell like they created this thing from scratch because
It's like that Ben 10 alien.
you see it. They're carrying it. There's up close shots about it a lot in the movie.
John Boyega.
But John Boyega has a great performance.
And introducing John Boyega.
John Boyega. There's a couple of other actors. Like I remember one of them plays like Firestorm in Legend of Tomorrow.
I really like the neighbor character in this as well because they end up like she like makes a bunch of assumptions about them.
Yeah.
And I love the payoff at the end of the movie with her talking to the authorities, and I won't say what she says, but it really works.
What's her name? Jodie Whittaker. I must say it's not Jodie Foster. Jodie Whittaker. But yeah, the whole cast overall just feels like a very tight knit group of friends battling these aliens. The effects are cool. The action scenes are crazy. I did not know what was going to happen. Pretty gnarly too. Pretty gruesome in certain scenes.
When he goes out of the weed room.
Yeah, there's a whole weed room thing there.
Perfection.
It's incredible. This movie is a ton of fun. So I would really recommend everybody watch Attack the Block.
I want to see his new movie, The Kid Would Be King, which kind of came and went.
Yeah, I kept meaning to see that at my rental store, but I never went up and saw it.
And apparently, it's a wholesome, good time, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I heard my girl Rebecca Ferguson's in that too.
Yeah.
Also, I saw The Father finally last week or 2 weeks ago. Father, really good movie. Depressing. Like it got slowly more and more emotional as it went on. Anthony Hopkins.
The editing, man, just terrifies me. Like,
the editing was insane. I talked about a little bit about it last week, but I arrived a little bit late. But I got the gist of it. And Anthony Hopkins, just one of his best performances. It sucks that he came out the same year as Chadwick Boseman's performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but in any other year, Anthony Hopkins would be getting yet another Oscar because he's
definitely
unbelievable.
You want to hear something crazy? I just watched. I'm going to talk about it next week, but I just watched David Lynch's The Elephant Man from 1981.
I haven't seen that.
And it's one of Anthony Hopkins's performances from 40 years ago. So to see him in The Father and then go back and watch the Criterion of restored version of the Elephant Man, and to see it, like 40-year-old Anthony Hopkins versus like 80-year-old, it's just crazy to like.
I only know Odin. No.
That's crazy. But yeah, did I already talk about Old Boy on this podcast?
No,
Maybe.
you have not.
But Old Boy is a masterpiece. Masterpiece. I am so happy I wasn't spoiled by anything going in here. I mean,
is it Korean?
The South Korean.
You're damn
South
right
Korean,
it is.
2003.
Damn right, it's Korean cinema.
Damn right it is.
You're goddamn.
But the movie is just amazing. Great leading performance. I forget the actor's name, but he's really good in it. I don't know what to say about this movie.
I know. I don't want to say the plot either.
I feel like everybody has already said everybody that needs to be said about Old Boy. It's just one of the prime examples of South Korean cinema.
I can't remember. He narrates a little bit of it, right?
He narrates a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies that I think does narration really, really well, which is really hard to pull off.
Yeah,
but it like works so well, especially towards the end of like what happens.
The ending. I mean, they don't. I finished the movie. It was like 4 a.m. I'm like, they don't make movies like this anymore. Like they don't.
I know, Evan. I'm telling you.
I'm like, God bless South Korea for giving us some of the best movies in the past couple of years.
Speaking of which, that website that I sent you, they just released, I think today, their curated list of the top 100 best South Korean movies of all time. So
sweet. Okay, I gotta look over that. Thank you very much, because I've been looking through that website like this summer, man. Every day I'm watching the South Korean movie because I finished Old Boy and I'm like, they don't make them like this. Like this movie is fantastic. Yeah. Like there's certain shots and I'm just like American cinema just wouldn't work like this.
And it's like I've been watching some Japanese movies, like Asian cinema in general.
I need to watch more Japanese films. I watch a lot of anime, but not Japanese.
I gotta send you some these Japanese movies that I'm watching.
I've seen you on Twitter. I've been looking them up.
They're like thriller horror.
Yeah,
you would really like. It's kind of like
Karen Kusama.
Seven, kind of like if it was more horror vibes, like that. Like just totally amazing. Yeah. But yeah, they just don't make them like that.
Yeah, the way Asian cinema, like South Korean movies, especially in Old Boy, you see a lot of the symbolism in a lot of the movies. Really well done.
The settings,
the editing, the settings.
There is no other like continent in the world that like knows how to like utilize setting into their world. Like it's like perfect.
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence, and like we get great stuff from. I don't know, the first person that comes to my mind, like Denis Villeneuve, and who's the famous editor or cinematographer? What's his name?
Roger Deakins.
Roger Deakins. Like you get great stuff from him, but in Asian cinema, like every single movie, the settings and the editing in Old Boy is just like unbelievable. Between like the
hallway scene, Evan, can we talk about
the hallway scene? I expected more action from this, but the hallway scene was just blew my mind.
That's all you needed.
That's all I needed. That's the only thing I was.
And it's a oneer, right? I'm pretty sure it's a oneer.
One shot. The way he films it. Oh my.
Well, yeah, weren't me and Evan talking about how we were surprised that wasn't the end of the movie?
Yeah, it came out pretty early in the movie.
Yeah, it's like the end of the first act or something.
Which is crazy. I mean, this movie was surprise after surprise. It's just really good, and I still have to see like the other two movies of this Vengeance trilogy. I'll watch them later in the month, but man, Old Boy is a masterpiece. One of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
Nice.
That's my take. Nathan, you got some Blu-rays to share with us?
Yeah, but first let me hit my reviews.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should do my Blu-rays now. Let's get that out of the way. I got a few things, as well as like a little while back I did some Criterion stuff.
Show us the Zilla.
Yeah, I'll hit my Criterions right now. First off, Marriage Story. Beautiful.
I need it.
This is the yeah, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, it's the kid on the booklet. Oh no, it's her. And then dude, I love the note. The
note scene.
Carson, both of their letters are in here.
No.
Wow.
I love Criterion's packaging so much. I would spend all my money on it.
I was like, why are they so expensive? Oh, I see. This fucking thing.
It's so big.
It's
like a
so
graphic
big.
novel.
It is the complete Showa era films, 1954 to 1975. First 15 Godzilla films.
And they're all remastered, right?
All 15?
Yeah, all Blu-ray.
Whoa.
Gorgeous back.
How much did that cost?
we're not gonna talk about it.
Okay.
We're not gonna talk about it on air.
I think it's is it 100 with the sale, or is it 100?
If you want to believe.
I think
But
it's too.
like it's a legit book. It's like
Yeah.
it has all the info. It's gorgeous artwork. We have all the different available discs and stuff. Like, oh my god, it's insane. There's so much beautiful artwork on just like designed for each movie. It's nuts. It is like King Kong versus Godzilla original.
That,
Wow.
honestly,
Yeah, man.
whenever you have a house someday, that's just gonna be on your coffee table. Like that's gonna be your flex item for.
This
guests
is going
that
to be
come over.
like, you know how like Stuckman has his like prop up Blu-ray based on what he's talking about.
Just permanently there.
It's permanently there. Like that's a book. That's a book. It's so good. I adore it. Otherwise, I did some purchases today. I was browsing through. I was like, I want to get back into physical media, so I picked up a few things. I got Wonder Woman 1984 in 4K.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
I'm about it. I picked up Batman Hush. And
Nice.
I've seen it.
One of the best Batman storylines of all time.
I will get to it after I finish my animated series rewatch because there's 60 damn episodes in season 1.
I hear a lot of my friends gush about this animation, and this is volumes 1 through 6 of Ruby.
Oh yeah, I've never watched
it.
Ruby. Yeah, people always keep recommending that to me.
I've been wanting to check it out. And yeah, they had like 1 through 6 right here for like $20. I was like, yes, I'm gonna get it. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I was looking at like they had every season of My Hero on DVD on Blu-ray for like $45 each. I was like, fuck.
I know. That's when like the Game of
That's
Thrones.
ridiculous.
That's like when Game of Thrones went on their sale after every season. It'd be like $50 for the season. I'm just like, dude, like no.
Dude. Evan, I think will especially like this. I got the Blu-ray of Weathering with You.
Nice.
I saw it there. I was
gotta
like,
watch it.
yes.
Is it on HBO Max now?
It is.
Oh gosh, I can't wait.
Don't tell me
I'm
what's
just
on HBO Max. Then
I'm just screaming about the.
It's not a waste. You
I'm
own
just screaming
it.
about the soundtrack.
You're right, yeah.
The Weather With You soundtrack is just beautiful.
I was not expecting them to have this. This is a Blu-ray steelbook of Mothra.
Wow.
Cool.
Her OG film before she
Let me see the
showed
back.
up in Godzilla vs. Mothra. Yeah, it's like
That's sweet. Oh, it's like shiny at the top.
That's
too.
dope.
yeah, man, it's so good. Like they had this here. I was like, "There's a steelbook for Mothra? Hell yeah!" Because not a lot of people like realize like they're not just Godzilla monsters. Like Mothra had her own film first. Rodan had his own film first. So yeah, good haul. Otherwise, I bought a little Lego Spider-Man set.
Nice.
Evan, shout outs from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It has Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider. It's his car.
That's dope. Robbie Reyes, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 4.
Yeah, you remember that episode where he teamed up with Spider-Man to fight Carnage? Right?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Cool
All on TV too. But yeah,
Evan, you make me go through your name score right now. It's like again to Gosh and Tai or whatever.
That's a great one.
You know this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the violin.
Really good. Oh man.
Good
Sometimes I
haul
just put that on and go for like a walk and to feel something, and the leaves are blowing around. I'm like,
I put that score on whenever I'm writing a paper. I'm just like, I'll go in.
All right. Yeah. So good haul today. In regards to movies, just real quick. I did some rewatches and showing my friends some stuff for the first time. This past Saturday, not the one that just happened, but before, because we pushed our pod a little bit. I got to see Godzilla vs. Kong again with my friend, and I got to see it in Dolby this time. Best Dolby experience I've ever had.
That's a big statement.
It is, but dude, I felt everything, and it was glorious. like that was really impactful.
Godzilla's tears and the rain.
Dude, every roar, I was like, "Oh, it's a massage chair." It was so good. Then like a couple nights ago, he came over and I filmed his reaction to Zack Snyder's Justice League. He had a lot of fun. I'm still having enjoyment with it, having seen it 3 times now in full. Yeah, Evan, I'm telling you, restore the Snyderverse.
I'm good.
Okay. Anyway, also last night I was showing. Yesterday, I was showing my friend Katie, who is big into Korean stuff, especially K-pop. I showed her Parasite yesterday,
Nice.
which is
man.
it's so good. What the hell?
It's a perfect movie.
It's so good. I was like, I noticed a transition I never noticed before, where like they were like tutoring, and like the girl was like flicking the paper, and then immediately like transitioned to like the mom counting money, and I was like, what the hell? That's a good transition.
I told you, South Korean editing is different, bro.
It really is.
The shot of when the water is overbearing and flooding in their house, and it cuts to that above shot, and the water is like keyed out to like float.
I forgot about that,
dude.
It blew her mind too. She was like, "Oh, dude, it was so good." But new stuff that I've seen. Let me start. I'll save like even better for last. Starting off, I saw Nobody. Quick little 90-minute action flick, dude. It was a really fun time. I'll have to say. I was definitely
Odenkirk.
Yeah, I'll hop on in with you in that one. I saw Nobody last week as well. Fantastic. I thought it's very fun, very enjoyable. 80 minutes, a great B+ action movie. I had a great time. I was
sitting there and I was like, how do I get studios to put this in with Keanu Reeves, John Wick? How do I put them together? Because that would be so fun to watch. But yeah, dude, it was so fun, and it was just 90 minutes, and I think that actually like worked in its favor. It was just I really enjoyed like the way the story was unfolding and the editing and all that.
Yeah, it's a great action comedy. There's a lot of great comedy in this one. You actually feel a lot for Bob Odenkirk's character, which is built upon his acting in this movie. It's really good.
And they got that great like action choreography where like the hero isn't invincible. He takes the hits.
Yeah, he does take the hits. He's very smart too. I like the family dynamic. Family dynamic is pretty cliche at times, but also worked by the end of it.
I had a lot of fun.
And there's a couple of mystery points there that were kind of revealed towards the end regarding some of his past. So I could see them diving more into that if they do more sequels.
Absolutely.
There's a possibility for more.
I would like to see more. Again, I would like to see it connected with John Wick.
That'd be cool.
And I'm definitely going to buy it for sure. Otherwise...
Oh, Christopher Lloyd is in that one too.
Yes, and the dude is great.
Phenomenal.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, I finally saw Promising Young Woman.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, Nathan.
This doesn't win Best Picture. I know there's probably some other... I started to see the other Best Picture stuff, but like, dude, come on. It's so deep. Good. It's deep. It officially became my favorite film of 2020.
Easily.
From what I have ranked.
Next to Soul.
I still have to watch Soul. I'm going to catch Soul, like, now. I'm going to cry now. And then also, just the soundtrack was glorious. Like, everyone's acting was great. Who's the actor? Is it Carey Mulligan? She was great. Has everyone seen it?
Yeah. We all
so I can just like
right, Carson? Have you seen it?
No. What? Yes, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
can't tell you my fucking heartbreak, because I was like about Bo Burnham's character, man.
And, yeah.
I was like, no, why?
Yeah,
but it totally like works because just like that passive bystander effect of like being with no consequences. With that, and I think
that part broke me as well. Because I'm like, you're trying to look for light in this universe because the director really points to a lot of men being this movie being pretty evil and pretty bad characters. Even a lot of the women in this movie, in terms of what Carson said, passive bystanders, were also implicated as well.
Real to life, unfortunately,
completely real to life, which is
why it hurts so much and it just has such a deep impact.
Yeah, in her life of like she's still living with her parents, like all this stuff of like it's going on.
It's one of those
movies. Give me a fucking suitcase for my birthday. I'm going.
That's fucked up. That was hilarious. But one of the big points about this movie is that it's very rare, but every single character, every single actor brings their A game in this movie. Every person that she talks to is like has such an important role, no matter how minimal it is. Like when somebody asks you, like, "Hey, Evan, what's a movie where very small role but great performance?" I point to Promising Young Woman because a lot of the people she interrogates, like that one school,
the dean mom,
the dean mom.
Oh, or what a scene!
Fantastic scene. And then the person that she goes over his house, and he kind of regretted what he did. I think he was
the
like
lawyer dude.
the lawyer dude.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina,
Alfred
yes.
Molina, yeah.
Oh my gosh, really
He
great
was
scene
great.
in that one.
Who ends up
great.
helping her out in the end,
He
translating
does.
final
Yeah.
messages. I didn't know she was gonna.
I was pissed.
I was like, damn.
Pissed.
I was so fucking upset because
Yeah, I was
unfortunately
too.
that is a realistic ending.
Right.
But it's
I saw this in theaters and everybody in the crowd just got hushed. Like, oh, you hear the audible gasp
Dude,
across
and it
the
just
theater.
doesn't cut, and I'm like,
no, and then
I'm like,
you
please
linger
cut, please cut.
and
Please
you
have it be live.
you linger for a while with these assholes, and I'm like,
yeah, and then the guy starts like crying. Oh,
but then his other friend tries to like instantly convince him, like, no, this was
you didn't do anything wrong.
You are the good. You're the victim. Like, no.
I'm like,
no.
wow.
This
Um,
is
So,
but dude, it's so engaging all the way through, especially when it starts like counting down and like the different like slash marks of like everyone she's confronting. It's like, oh my god,
it's a movie that doesn't explain everything right away, which I love. It's like,
yeah, it takes like an act to like get.
There's no
into
character
the
that goes
universe.
into, hey, why are you writing that stuff in there? It's just like you understand what it is between the red and the blue lines.
yeah.
And then, I mean, it's a very controversial ending, but something I grew on as I was walking away. I'm like, I think I liked it a lot.
By the way, I saw this empty theater by myself. So I was like pretty openly just like,
Yeah.
Dude.
No way to properly grieve.
No one to distract me. I can just like let my tears roll.
Yeah, Carrie's just phenomenal in this movie. It's like she goes to such a deep place. I'm like, oh.
And there's like, I'm sure, like I still have to see like the other films, but like she's my best actress poll right now.
I've seen all of them. Carrie's the best.
All right.
Yeah. I want Carrie to win, but I think
say Vanessa Kirby.
I need to watch that Actors on Actors with her.
Oh, me too.
Right, yeah, I need to see that too.
I need to watch a lot of them from this.
I always watch them every year, and then I always binge them.
I binge them the same
2 months
way.
later. I'm like, oh,
in the summertime, I just binge it. What we can say, Carson, though, between the other best actress?
I think Vanessa's gonna take it purely because that movie's getting nothing else.
Oh,
I haven't seen her, but
it's getting nothing else, so she will get nothing as well.
Is that what you're saying?
She's getting 0%. I mean, nobody cares about.
Wait, who else is in the cat? Remind me, I'm behind on mine.
Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Adam. Carey Mulligan for Papa
That's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Really good. Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. And then...
Carrie. Do we say Carrie?
I already said Carrie. Carrie, Viola, Frances, Vanessa. Who am I missing?
Who is the fifth?
Who is the fifth one?
Let me also say, like... Again,
is it from... No, that'd be supporting.
Find out in a second.
But to, like, reiterate, like, the soundtrack... Mm-hmm. Like I immediately like that same night I like hopped on Spotify. I was like, I need it.
The soundtrack's so good.
It's so good. I like immediately said, "There's this like really." Yeah, no, the Toxic, Britney Spears Toxic, but like in this orchestral version, it's just like, oh my god, like that is cinema. Oh god, it's all so good, dude. It's like, wow. I love just the powerful women vigilante subgenre I'm watching, like Invisible Man in this, like.
Andre Day was the other one, by the way.
Right.
I haven't seen that on Hulu. United States versus.
You know, actually, I think. Actually, I'm gonna say if anyone takes it from Carrie, it's gonna be Viola.
That's the same thing. Yeah, it'll be her.
Unfortunately, like a lot of our Oscar stuff had to leave once again just because we're getting new releases. But right now, still playing, and I'm totally gonna make my way to check out. We still have Minari, so I will be.
Oh, you need to watch that.
When are the Oscars again, guys?
April 25th.
I'm waiting to start my YouTube TV free trial to
April 25th. So we can do our Oscar episode that week.
Yes.
Like last year, we did the Oscar predictions and stuff.
You guys want a commentary or depression? No.
Come back to the commercials.
Oh no, yeah. No, I meant like an Oscar film, but like, We did like the Collider Live. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was
so much
thinking.
bed space. I would have to pay StreamYard Premium for like unlimited streaming.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
But otherwise, great show, guys.
Mhm.
Had a lot of fun. Evan, where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at HarrisHarrisEV9, talking to all the craziness from this week on Big Brother Canada 9. Also, Attack on Titan Chapter 139 came out last week. I'm still recovering from the ending of Attack on Titan. It is controversial. I won't say it's not a Game of Thrones ending. People are comparing it to Game of Thrones, but I think that's too far. A lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people do like it. It's one of those controversial endings to Attack on Titan. I hope a lot of anime viewers like it when they see it next year, though. Otherwise, watching a lot of Invincible. I think I'll review some of that next week as well. I'll save some of that because Carson's watching it. Nathan might start catching up on it as well.
Nathan,
Yeah,
please.
I think I'll start this week.
Besides that, this is gonna be a crazy month for me in terms of school. So I have a lot of stuff going down this week and the next couple of weeks before I graduate. So I'm just hanging in there week to week.
Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me fixing my lighting so I don't become the Invisible Man. And also, watching Invincible, watching a bunch of other movies to procrastinate on, graduating in a month and having to be an adult and all that scary details.
It's not fun,
that entails.
Carson.
But yeah, this is a fun episode, and I can't wait to get through these next 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then hopefully we're gonna be talking about some more. I say it every week, but we're gonna be talking some more Star Wars soon because we been on a downward.
Look,
spiral.
we're under
We
a
need to be
month away from Bad
reinvigorated.
Batch.
And you know what? I downloaded the 4th issue of the High Republic comic, and then also the 3rd issue of the other one. I'm gonna read those maybe tonight because I've been enjoying them.
Yeah, May 4th can be our big return for Star Wars. We can kind of mark that as our big return to Hyperspace.
You know what? And I gotta finish Into the Dark by then as well because I do enjoy it. I just been so busy.
By May 4th, I'll finish Into the Dark as well. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a point later this year where we have Bad Batch coming out. I don't know how many episodes, at least 12 episodes of Bad Batch.
At least 14.
At least 14 episodes of Bad Batch. But they're gonna be on Fridays along with episodes of Loki and stuff like that. I'm like, why are they doing this?
Plus summer movie season.
Plus summer movie season. So I don't know how our schedule is gonna work out in terms of these podcasts, but we'll figure it out. We have time.
Absolutely. With that being said, if you guys enjoy our podcast, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already. That being said, I hope you have a great day, and may the force be with you always.